Chapter 1102. What a powerful aura! Who is erupting here? This area was packed with people. The energy fluctuations that suddenly appeared were extremely powerful. A figure soared through the skies, crushing the void until it trembled. Even the starry skies in outer space trembled, as if the entire world was about to be shattered. A large number of cultivators staggered about. There were even some that fell to the ground, their faces full of shame and anger. They wished they could find a hole to crawl into. Now that so many powerhouses had gathered here, the geniuses of all races were here. Wasn't this just shaming them? However, even if they were angry, they didn't dare to speak out. This was because the might of the powerhouse that suddenly erupted was too shocking. Within his aura, these people's hands and feet turned cold, as if they had fallen into an ice cave. Quickly look, this brat has provoked a young overlord. The gorgeous man's originally ugly expression was instantly replaced by a smile. This blind thing has angered the powerhouse here. He won't have long to live. Zhu Miaofu frowned. They could clearly see that this mysterious powerhouse was targeting Su Yan. Logically speaking, why would such a strong person notice a weak little cultivator? East Demon. However, someone roared out. His voice spread through all directions, causing a great commotion. Countless cultivators were in an uproar. Their eyes stared unblinkingly at the black-clothed man standing tall in the void. His figure was a bit blurry. His feet were bare and his long black hair fell over his shoulders. He had the tyrannical aura of a king. He is East Demon? Many powerhouses looked at the black-clothed figure with shock. This was a legendary powerhouse. They didn't expect East Demon to be entrenched in the Chaos Pagoda and even stand out to target someone. This truly caused their hearts to tremble. What arrogance! He thinks too highly of himself. He dares to use force here, In an area closer to the Chaos Pagoda, cold lightning flashed in the eyes of two great life forms. These two life forms were completely golden and their bloodline auras were powerful. With a single glance, one could tell they were rare and precious life forms. Moreover, they had golden wings spreading out from their backs. Apart from that, they were no different from humans. Fellow Taoists, please don't speak nonsense. He is East Demon. Someone nearby reminded. He is an absolute hero of the younger generation. It is rumored that he has killed countless people. Impudent! Where did this wild brat come from? Get lost! Under the fury of the two great golden creatures, it was as if a vast ocean was about to erupt. World-shaking golden ripples were emitted, and the young expert who tried to persuade them was immediately sent flying. He spat out blood from his mouth. The crowd was in an uproar. What was going on? Two more creatures were reviving. In this situation, even a few young overlords didn't have the qualifications to take action here, but they still took action. You, the young expert who tried to persuade them was in a sorry state, his face a bit miserable. He warned them out of goodwill, yet they directly took action to teach him a lesson. Wasn't this a bit too unreasonable? Don't spout nonsense. They have a great background. This young expert's companions hurriedly rushed over to pull him away to avoid provoking a fatal disaster. His words made this youngster's face pale. Could it be that the origins of these two creatures were extremely great? I don't know who it is, but they have been in Dao City for almost a year and have been looking for Su Xianren. His companion's words made this youngster lose his composure. He gritted his teeth and said hatefully, "But they are too arrogant. What is Su Xianren's identity? How dare they find trouble with Su Xianren?" His companions smiled bitterly. Regardless of whether they were qualified or not, to be able to find Su Xianren so brazenly meant that these two had a great background. Moreover, their combat strength wasn't weak to begin with. Seems like there will be a good show to watch. Many people didn't mind watching the show. In this background where geniuses gathered, those who dared to take action here were definitely not ordinary people. It's true. Su Yen looked at East Demon. When he was still a small cultivator, he had heard of East Demon's name. After a few decades, he didn't expect East Demon to take the initiative to find him. He even emitted a murderous aura. Su Yen wanted to open his eye of the universe to see East Demon's true face. However, East Demon's aura had already awakened. He was really powerful and had the might to swallow the starry skies. There was also a demonic nature that could startle the heavens and make ghosts and gods weep being released, causing the vast sky to darken. He was like a demon king awakening. Cough, in an instant, many people coughed up blood, their faces pale. They all retreated. What a terrifying person! Some old heavenly gods felt like their livers were being torn apart. They wanted to see East Demon just now, but this person's aura was too shocking. Just his aura field alone made their primordial spirits unstable, as if they had fallen into a demon's den. No matter how strong East Demon's aura was, he couldn't escape from Su Yan's eye of the universe. However, when he saw East Demon clearly, Su Yan was a little dazed. East Demon, who was standing in the void, looked somewhat familiar. He was tall and wore a long black robe. His bronze skin surged with a demonic nature. His pitch-black eyes were calm, and vaguely had the might of a demon lord that could devour one's soul. If he was placed together with Tensor. Tensor's aura was masculine, and his appearance was fierce. However, East Demon had a great aura, and a domineering aura. These two people had completely different auras, but their appearances were extremely similar. Why aren't you attacking yet? East Demon had his hands behind his back, like a king standing in a dark abyss. The aura he emitted was even stronger, sweeping through all directions and sweeping across the universe. He had a great aura that could dominate the entire scene. When he saw Su Yen in a daze, East Demon felt a sense of disappointment. Was this the legendary Su Xianren? He didn't seem like much. How could he be in a daze at this juncture? At this moment, Su Yen thought of many things. With his Tao heart, it was really unstable. This person looked too similar to Tensor. Could he be the young village chief of Zhang Village, Tensor's missing elder brother? Su Yen found it hard to believe. He and Tensor had a life and death relationship, but now his elder brother came to kill him. Su Yen was a little confused. What the hell was going on? East Demon. Su Yan's eyes blazed once more. He looked at him and coldly said, "You look like a friend of mine. I don't want to be your enemy. Come down and talk." When these words came out, the lively scene instantly became silent. Many people looked as if they had seen a ghost. They stared at Su Yen in a daze. What was this brat saying? Pfft, ha ha. The man in the gorgeous robe almost laughed out loud. He pointed at Su Yen and burst into laughter. This beggar said that he doesn't want to be East Demon's enemy? Does he really think that he can be East Demon's enemy? Many people lost control and burst into laughter. Who was East Demon? There were very few people in the world who could be his enemy. Only a few people remained calm. Since East Demon had found him, it meant that this person's background was not small. Perhaps he really had the strength to fight East Demon. There is only one king in this world. The rest are all enemies. This domineering statement that could swallow the world spread through the entire place, exploding in the ears of all living creatures. Anyone could sense the essence of his words, that terrifying belief, that unrivaled will. At this moment, many people's eyes became cold. East Demon's might was too tyrannical. In his world, only one king and one supreme being could appear. The rest were all corpses on the path of death. What bold words! I truly hope your strength is as great as your words. There is only one king in this world. This sentence is quite correct. However, the rest are all enemies. This sentence is not something you can accept. I advise you to take it back right now. In this shocking scene, the two great creatures standing near the primal chaos pagoda had cold expressions. They looked down on East Demon, believing that he did not have the qualifications to speak these words. Many people were shocked. What kind of background did these two creatures have? A few people who knew about this began to mutter. At first, they were looking for Su Xianren, and now, they even offended East Demon. They all felt that these two creatures' backgrounds were great, even more astonishing than what they had guessed. Now, do you still want to talk with me? East Demon's pitch-black pupils did not reveal the slightest bit of emotion. This was his path. There was only one king in this world, and that was him, East Demon. The rest were all enemies. Even if he died in battle, he still persisted with his own beliefs. East Demon, right? Then let me see just how strong you are. Su Yan's eyes were blazing like torches. The two were not that far apart, but when they truly confronted each other, this world changed, becoming dim without light. The void immediately collapsed. Many cultivators did not even have time to react before they were all blasted flying. It was because the eruption was too sudden. The instant the two confronted each other, an astonishing energy field was born. When they collided, the heavens collapsed and the earth split apart. The sun and moon lost their radiance. Large black cracks even appeared in the void. Who is he? The surrounding crowd turned pale with fright. Who was this person? Who could contend against East Demon? The gorgeous man who taunted Su Yan stiffened. A wisp of alarm surged from his body. How could this be? How could this person suddenly become so powerful? Just what were his origins? Anyone could sense just how tyrannical the auras released by the two were. When they collided with each other across space, it actually produced a scene of space collapsing. At this moment, they both sensed each other's strength. They had immeasurable foundations that were difficult to shake. Su Yan shivered inwardly. East Demon's reputation was well-deserved. He was more powerful than North Demon, and his cultivation realm was difficult to discern. Ever since he, East Demon, stepped into the primal chaos ruins, he had disappeared for many years just like West Buddha. It seemed like they had both obtained great opportunities. You are actually worthy of me taking action, East Demon roared. His aura rose sharply, and a terrifying aura overflowed from his body. A black creature directly rose from behind him. It was so large that it seemed to support the heavens. Moreover, it opened a pair of cold eyes that overlooked the universe. Dong. Su Yan took a step forward. His entire body was surging with blood essence. His eyes blazed with ominous light. Behind him, a vast ocean vaguely appeared. Then, it drew the outline of an enormous heavenly dragon, shattering the heavens. Honglong. In the blink of an eye, the boundless territory swayed, rising and falling. Rumbling sounds rang out. The surrounding crowd was horrified. They felt as if two great cosmic furnaces had collided, forming a scene of the heavens collapsing. Su Yan, come and fight. East Demon's energy swallowed the starry skies. The entire sky became gloomy, as if a slumbering demon lord had revived. The fluctuations he released were difficult for many heavenly deities to resist. Chapter 1103. Su Yan, come and fight me. East Demon had been famous for a long time. He had not shown himself in the past few decades, and today, he appeared in front of the world for the first time. It was truly terrifying. The starry skies outside the realm trembled, and the entire sky darkened. He was like a demon lord who had awakened from his slumber. His aura was terrifying, and many heavenly deities in the field fell to the ground. They could not resist East Demon's great power. The world did not know how strong East Demon was, but since he was ranked above the North Demon and South Emperor, it was enough to prove that East Demon was powerful. He had shocking charisma, as if he had turned into the only true god in the world. However, no matter how strong East Demon's aura was, when he shouted a sentence, everything in the world seemed to have lost its luster. In the heavens and the earth, in the universe's starry skies, all the experts who were entrenched in all directions almost dropped their jaws. East Demon's words were like thunder exploding in their ears, causing a chill to rise in their hearts. What did he say? Many people were dumbfounded, unable to say a word. That person, could it be Su Xianren? Some people stuttered, thinking that they had misheard. Su Yan. Many people screamed as if they had seen a ghost. Their eyes were fixed on this young man in ragged clothes. He was Su Yan? Su Xianren. The entire place was in an uproar. A large number of experts sucked in a breath of cold air as their legs went soft. No matter how strong East Demon's aura was, Su Yan was too dazzling at this moment. Who didn't know that he was Vicious Su? The chaotic divine mountain was filled with blood, the great Tao city was in a storm, the reincarnation universe rose, and the Han family was destroyed. One major event after another ignited everyone's madness and legend. He is Su Yan, the Su Xianren who shook the chaotic ruins. The experts of the various peak orthodoxies felt their scalps go numb. This person's ferocious aura overflowed the heavens, and his aura swallowed the world. He was known as the invincible king of the younger generation, but now they saw it. Su Yan was here, facing off against East Demon. How is this possible? Who is he? The gorgeously dressed man was so scared that he almost peed himself. He staggered and fell to the ground. His heart was filled with fear. The man he had ridiculed and looked down on was the legendary figure of this generation, Su Xianren. Zhu Miaofu was stupefied. She was tongue-tied and found it hard to believe. It was as if she was dreaming. Could this person be Su Xianren? Oh my God! Zhu Miaofu covered her red lips and exclaimed. She recalled the three people who were traveling with Su Yan. Perhaps they were the invincible combination in the Samsara universe in the past. She was really frightened. What? He is Su Yan? At this moment, the complexions of the two golden beings that were walking towards East Demon suddenly changed. A cold light shot out from their eyes and their golden bodies burned with raging flames. Their expressions were filled with anger. Su Yan. Their cold eyes looked at Su Yan. One of the creatures said angrily, "We've been looking for you for so long, but you're not willing to show yourself. You're really arrogant. Su Yan, let's see if you're more ruthless or if we're more ruthless." They changed their direction and rushed towards Su Yan. Their expressions were unfriendly. At the same time, they felt a sense of injustice. After all, they had been looking for Su Yan in the great Tao city for almost a year. Some of the people who were watching the show were stunned. What was going on? Someone was looking for Su Xianren? Soon, they were close to Su Yan. One of the beings restrained himself and suppressed the raging flames in his heart. He said to Su Yan indifferently, "Su Yan, come with me. Someone wants to see you." Su Yan glanced at the two beings from the corner of his eyes. He had heard that there were two beings in the great Tao city who were looking for him by name. They had even been looking for him for a year. He did not expect it to be these two. Clearly, they were sent by someone. "All of you, stand aside." Su Yan's gaze fell on East Demon. He said indifferently, "I have no time to care about you. East Demon, since you want to fight with me, then come at me." East Demon was already closing in on Su Yan. As he moved, his tall demonic body surged with powerful waves of energy. He was really very strong. The spectators around him avoided him as if he was a snake or a scorpion. They were not willing to get close to East Demon because they found it hard to breathe in front of him. "Su Yan, how dare you!" Under the fury of the two golden creatures, their entire bodies surged with raging flames. The enormous wings on their backs fluttered about, and their bodies rapidly enlarged. It was as if two enormous golden mountains had been born, and they were filled with layers upon layers of exuberant demonic energy. "Come with me. Otherwise, I will teach you a lesson." The two golden beings' faces darkened. From the beginning to the end, they had an unquestionable tone. It was obvious that they were used to ordering people around. They had a high and mighty attitude, as if they saw the young overlords as ants. They felt that they were not worth mentioning. Where did they come from? How arrogant! They dare to be so disrespectful to Su Xianren. They are too arrogant. Even if they have supreme elders behind them, their tone is still too much. Of the countless spectating powerhouses, some of them had gloomy expressions. These two golden beings were too unreasonable. They actually dared to speak to Su Yan in such a manner. Some people really hoped that Su Yan would take action right now and teach them a good lesson. At this time, some people's expressions were particularly interesting. This was because they saw East Demon stride over and stand behind the two golden beings. Although the two golden beings were large, in front of East Demon's domineering demonic body, they seemed small and insignificant. The two golden beings turned their heads and angrily glared at East Demon. They shouted, "East Demon, is it? I advise you not to meddle in this matter. Withdraw." Many people had strange expressions. Arrogant, too arrogant. To be so disrespectful to Su Yan and East Demon, one might even think that they were supreme elders. Scram! East Devil's face darkened, and he became cold and merciless. A low roar exploded out, and the gloomy sky instantly rumbled. East Devil looked calm, but in reality, he had a domineering aura that could devour the stars. "You dare? Do you know who we are?" The two golden beings' expressions changed. Their huge bodies trembled. At this moment, it was as if the starry skies were falling. The pressure was endless. Their huge bodies shrank rapidly as they were suppressed back to their original forms. "You only have one chance. If you don't cherish it, die." East Demon's eyes emitted a cold divine light. This kind of tangible killing intent was bone-chilling. Vaguely, people seemed to see the return of a terrifying demonic lord that was going to rule the world. "We are," the two golden beings' expressions changed. They wanted to say their names and scare East Demon away. But what kind of overlord was East Demon? His large hand covered the sky. It could easily crush tens of thousands of mountains. As it rushed down, the two golden beings seemed like they were going to collapse. In an instant, a golden palm pierced through space and chopped down. East Demon and Su Xianren encountered each other just like that. Hong Long. East Demon's palm was pitch black like ink. Su Yan's palm flowed with golden splendor. The two palms were like two parts of space, surging furiously as they collided in space. Boom! A loud explosion rang out. Heaven and earth were turned upside down as the space was torn apart. The distant world trembled even more violently. The gathered crowd was thrown into chaos because many people were injured by the shockwave. They coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. Their eyes were filled with horror. The crowd hurriedly retreated to make space for them. "They came because of me. Let them live." Su Yan wanted to ask about their origins. He didn't want to kill them just yet. Since they were looking for him with such great fanfare, they were most likely very important. "No one can stop me from killing those I want to kill." East Demon's aura rose sharply. A loud roar exploded and split open the sky. Even the mountains were shaking and the boundless territory was rising and falling. 10,000 creatures were terrified and retreated once again. That was because many people were shaken to the point of fainting. There were even some young overlords who felt their hair stand on end. East Demon was worthy of being called an unrivaled existence. A single roar was enough to shatter tens of thousands of mountains and shatter the starry skies. It was too tyrannical. "Is that so?" Su Yan's eyes turned cold. His aura leaked out. Facing East Demon's tyrannical methods, Su Yan recovered. He faced the sky and roared. His head of black hair scattered behind him and his chest emitted the sound of mountains and seas collapsing. Su Yan's roar produced surging golden ripples. They were similarly tyrannical to the extreme. Hong! Two terrifying sound waves erupted. They clashed against each other and finally collided. It was an extremely shocking scene. Even the world was shaking. Everyone could see that the two golden creatures with powerful auras were in a terrible state. They were caught between the two ripples, their flesh lacerated, and their life essence declined greatly. In the end, they coughed out blood. Their bodies flew out like broken kites. Their appearances were too miserable. No one sympathized with them because there was no time. They were all staring at Su Yen and East Demon. These two tyrannical existences were bound to engage in a fierce battle once they encountered each other. 1. East Demon waved his palm and slapped down. It was boundlessly majestic. One hand covered the sky and was peerlessly tyrannical. Anyone could feel the heaviness. It was a power that suppressed all the kings in the sky. This palm was incomparably grand as it directly pressed down. Hong! Su Yan's aura was completely different now. His figure soared through the sky and formed a fist imprint. His entire fist rippled with boundless waves. In an instant it smashed down. His power was peerless. He smashed into the giant hand and launched a terrifying collision. Both of them had an unrivaled bearing. Once they encountered each other, their battle blood ignited. Their auras became increasingly terrifying. In a short period of time, they clashed dozens of times. They were both fighting, causing the world to flicker. That world-shocking heavenly deity energy was released, enveloping all directions and causing all life in the universe to tremble. Were these still two heavenly deities? Their foundations were unfathomable and difficult to measure. As for the two golden creatures, they were too miserable. In their battlefield, they couldn't even crawl up. They also didn't have any resistance. From the start, they were sent flying everywhere like two blood-soaked sandbags. You all will regret this. They cried out miserably. They had never suffered this kind of humiliation before. Even if a powerful being learned of their origins, they still wouldn't treat them so rudely. Take my fist. East Demon became more and more world-shocking. A terrifying figure rose from behind him. He was like a demon lord that ruled over the world, vicious to the extreme. Following East Demon's display of exceptional fighting strength, he crushed the heavens until they sank into endless darkness. Take my fist as well. Su Yen roared loudly. Within the darkness, the flames of life burned. His majestic appearance was even more imposing. He erupted within the darkness, striking until the boundless darkness collapsed. This was a type of surging might. He slaughtered his way forward, his fist imprint matchless. Chapter 1104. Why do I feel like the Divine King is contending for supremacy? The deities trembled. It was difficult for them to capture the scene in front of them because the atmosphere was too grand and tyrannical. Two peerless overlords were releasing boundless power into their fists, surging with peerless ferocity. What a terrifying overlord! Zhu Miaofu's eyes blossomed with extraordinary splendor. In this grand world, two peerless overlords were surging violently and overflowing the heavens. They suppressed the entire situation and released peerless heavenly deity battle prowess. It was truly incomparably powerful. It was truly difficult to find an expert who could match these two in this world. The two contended for supremacy and their fists smashed together like millstones of the universe. For a moment, the heavens collapsed and the earth caved in. Sand and pebbles were sent flying everywhere. A storm of earth-shattering momentum was stirred up. The spectators who had already retreated far away were terrified. They retreated once again, their hearts were filled with reverence. This was an overlord, this was an absolute expert, this was an invincible might. Even in the golden great world, a world where experts gathered, these two great experts still burst forth with a glorious battle strength that could destroy a golden age. Boom! Everything collapsed. The heavens shook and the earth trembled. The released aura was so terrifying that it suffocated everyone present. Even some of the divine kings were calling them abnormal. Were these still heavenly deities? They were almost able to contend against the divine king. In fact, no one doubted that Su Xianren and East Demon had the means to contend against the divine king. Back in the day, Su Yen unleashed a massacre in the Han family and roared a divine king to death. That battle shocked the world. Now, these two peak experts were competing with heavenly deity strength. They fought until the sky turned dark and the earth dimmed. The more they fought, the fiercer they became. However, those with discerning eyes could see that they seemed to have reached their limits and couldn't threaten each other. What was this? Had they really reached their limits? Regardless of whether it was Su Xianren or East Demon, they were enough to represent the universe's younger generation. However, some orthodoxies sneered. There was a group of people in this world who had broken through their limit. Once they came into being, they would definitely cause a ruckus. Su Yan and the others were no exception. Su Yan, you're really powerful. East Demon rarely spoke. It's been a long time since I've met such an expert. If you still want to fight, I'll keep you company. Su Yan was also shocked by East Devil's battle prowess. Of course, Su Yan wasn't afraid of East Devil. Moreover, East Devil's actions were straightforward and upright, unlike the heaven-suppressing battle god and the others who were scheming behind their backs. Although you are still hiding your true strength, you are still not the Divine King. East Demon shook his head and coldly said, If you continue fighting, you won't win. Su Yan's heart turned cold. This East Demon had vaguely seen through Su Yan's combat strength. But what did he mean by that? Could it be that East Demon had already stepped into the realm of the Divine King? If this was the case, then East Devil could truly be ranked among the strongest of the younger generation. He could stand on the same level as Qiu Ming and look down on the world. If you are really the Divine King, I won't be able to win against you. But that doesn't mean I will lose. Su Yan replied. He had his own methods to deal with the Divine King. Even if East Demon was a peerless Divine King, he had the qualifications to contend against the peerless Divine King with his humanoid puppet combined with the Mystic Nine escape art. You're quite frank. East Demon's expression was cold as he shouted, As long as you don't step into the realm of the Divine King, you won't be a king among gods. A little foundation is nothing. Then let's not talk nonsense. Come. Su Yan's eyes were wide open, blazing like a torch as he took large strides forward. He was ready to fight for real. This year of bitter cultivation wasn't in vain. Within his body, strands of terrifying heavenly might were faintly seeping out. It was as if a vague divine king floating in the primal chaos was quietly awakening. Big brother, suddenly, a loud and clear voice rang out from the distance. At first, no one paid attention to it as they were all staring at the battlefield that was about to erupt at any moment. But East Demon looked into the distance. His figure slowly blurred, as if he had vanished from space and time. The nearby people were still watching with wide eyes. They felt that East Demon was using some sort of special secret technique. But even after waiting for a long time, there was still no movement from East Demon. No one noticed that Tensor was rushing over from the distance. He was so excited that his eyes were brimming with tears. He was madly running all the way in search of East Demon. Su Yan stood in the void, silent. East Demon was really Tensor's older brother. Now that he had received confirmation, Su Yan sighed in his heart. He didn't know whether East Demon would be a friend or a foe in the future. He and Tensor were life and death brothers. But East Demon had once said that he would kill him. This caused Su Yan to be in a bit of a mess. This was also the reason why he had held back when he was fighting East Demon. Has the battle ended? The surrounding people were dumbfounded. What was going on? Why did they suddenly stop at such a critical moment? Some of the older experts were deep in thought. Someone had been chasing East Demon just now. Why did East Demon retreat? He wouldn't be so weak as to have a strong start. There must be some special reason. What's going on? Baokai and the others rushed over. They had been browsing through the various treasures in the shops in the city, preparing to purchase some resources. In the end, they heard that Su Yan was fighting with East Demon. So, they rushed over. But, Tensor seemed to be calling out to Big Brother East Demon? Could East Demon be Tensor's long-lost brother? This was hard for them to believe. East Demon had been famous for a long time. But he still hadn't returned to Zhang family village. Just what had happened? Su Yan shrugged helplessly and said in a low voice, I hope Tensor can catch up to East Demon. Just now, when East Demon saw Tensor, he left. I'm really curious as to why. Is the battle over? Where did East Demon go? At this time, a large number of cultivators rushed over from Great Dao City. They had heard that Su Yan and East Demon had encountered each other in the Primal Chaos Pagoda and a great battle had broken out. But now that they had rushed over and saw the peaceful scene, they were all shocked. You guys are late. East Demon just left. He must have encountered something. The battle is already over. There's no clear victor. Many people sighed. East Demon and Su Yan were fighting. It was definitely going to be a fierce battle. Unfortunately, at the critical moment, East Demon left. Those who came late kept sighing. Their gazes landed on Su Yan. Most of them had a kind of fear, not daring to look at this fierce person. These years, there had been many major events in the Primal Chaos Land, and they were all closely related to Su Xianren. Ancestral Halls Zhu Tian, Demon Region's North Demon, Sealed Heaven Region's 10 Heroes, and even the Heaven Suppression Battle God, had all died in the reincarnation universe. In the outside world, it was rumored that Su Yan had swallowed the reincarnation fruit, and his combat strength had increased sharply. No one could determine whether this was true or false. Now, Su Yan was standing here. If it was a normal time, there would probably be experts coming over to make things difficult for Su Yan. But now, no one came. The Han family's destruction had truly shaken the hearts of the major clans. So much so that since Su Yan dared to stand here, it meant that he didn't fear the powers of the world. Who didn't know that in the past, 2 supreme experts had stood up for Su Yan and forcibly destroyed the entire Han family's orthodoxy. At this time, miserable cries rang out, attracting the attention of the surrounding people. Someone immediately recognized that these were the 2 great existences who were looking for Su Yan in Great Dao City. But now, they looked somewhat miserable. Some insiders were stupefied after asking about the situation. This was too tragic. They were knocked unconscious during the battle between Su Yan and East Demon. Now that they had woken up, their expressions were sinister and incomparably sinister. Their mournful eyes stared at Su Yan and roared, "For disrespecting us, you will forever fall into purgatory. Even my qualifications to follow my master have been stripped." The entire scene was in an uproar. Even the young overlords were dumbstruck. They were scared stiff. The shocking words of the 2 great existences made them doubt their lives. Was this still the world they were familiar with? Was this still the era when Su Xianren reigned supreme over the world? Just his words alone had stripped him of his qualifications to follow his master. One could imagine how serious the consequences were. How could all the heavens' prides in the world suffer? You guys are truly arrogant enough. Su Yan's eyes flashed with a trace of cold light as he stared at the 2 great golden existences. Although they were miserable, they were arrogant and despotic. They didn't put all living beings in their eyes and acted as if the whole world belonged to them. This made Su Yan's heart soar with a strand of cold, killing intent. However, before Su Yan could make his move, the Baokai suddenly rushed over. A big black yak rushed over aggressively, waving its big hooves as it descended from the sky. Bastard! The 2 great golden existences were burning with anger. Even a black yak dared to humiliate them? They originally wanted to erupt with power and kill the black yak, but their injuries were too severe. Just now, they had suffered serious internal injuries in the battle between East Demon and Su Yan. Boom! The big black hoof descended from the sky like a black mountain. With a rumble, the 2 great golden existences were knocked unconscious again. However, the Baokai let out a low roar at them again. Moo! The yak's roar radiated outwards, the sound waves rolling and waking up the 2 great golden existences. What happened next stunned all the onlookers. This big black yak was too ferocious. It beat up the two great golden existences crazily, breaking all the bones in their bodies and even robbing them of their treasures. The Baokai was astonished. The two creatures were very rich. The primal chaos treasures added together almost exceeded 50,000 kilograms. This was a huge amount of wealth. Moreover, they had all kinds of rare treasures on their bodies. Even the Baokai felt that it had robbed the treasures of a great race. Its simple and honest face was full of astonishment. "You guys are finished." "We are," the two miserable creatures wanted to announce their names, but the Baokai acted as if it was the big brother Black. It raised its voice and threatened, "Motherf *, you two idiots. Don't you know who this grandpa is? If this gets out, you'll be so scared you'll piss your pants." The Baokai beat them up crazily again. They were really frightened, and there was a kind of despair in their eyes. The tough ones met someone even tougher than them. One had to admit that it was too tragic. Enough! All of a sudden, a terrifying aura descended from the sky. It came too quickly. A resplendent light soared up from the distant land and cut through space. It swept over in an instant like a giant god descending from the sky. It bombarded the Baokai so hard that it couldn't stand still and was forced to retreat. Su Yan's eyes were cold. He saw a blurry figure in the distant world. The moment he appeared, the whole sky pressed down. The Divine King's energy waves seemed to be pushing the whole world towards him. The vast and mighty might of the heavens. "You kneel down and apologize to them immediately. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences." His voice was grand like the rumbling of the heavens. It suppressed all the gods and made them tremble. They felt as if an invincible divine king was looking down on the whole world. He was invincible. Peak King. The Baokai was so angry that its nose was crooked. It wanted to say something, but this person's aura was boundless and peerless. It suppressed everyone. This was a divine king and even a peak divine king. Chapter 1105. This figure's brilliance overflowed into the heavens. During this process, his body automatically released Grand King fluctuations. Terrifying great Tao radiance flowed out, illuminating the heavens with resplendent brilliance. The heavens in all directions trembled greatly. Everything was suppressed by him, losing all luster. The sun and moon were eternally silent. Exceptional king. Everyone present was horrified. This person's aura was too powerful. His entire body was suffused with the divine might of a king, causing the heavens to rumble. It was as if he was covering down, suppressing all the heavenly talents present. This was but a young king descending into this world. His edge was exceptional, suppressing Baokai as soon as he took action. Moreover, this aura covered heaven and earth as it descended, wanting to make Baokai kneel down and admit his wrongs. One had to admit that his methods were tyrannical. However, when the surging king aura surged downwards, the world also changed. Strange sounds appeared, as if the pulse of the great earth was pulsing. The territory revived life, rising up and down like a great dragon. In addition, in the starry skies outside this region, groups of stars flickered, brilliant and dazzling. They rotated and quickly shot downwards, accompanied by stellar rivers, outlining a great starry sky diagram. The great power of heaven and earth was awakening, released along with a single person's aura. Su Yan's eyes released cold light. He drew upon the power of heaven and earth, arranging it. He grasped a corner of the universe, forcibly blocking the incoming king aura. Little Tao. However, the aura of this mysterious king who stood up for the two great golden creatures surged violently again, making the entire heavens sink down. This place was not calm at all. The world was surging with great momentum and rumbling sounds. A king's aura was released, suppressing tens of thousands of heavenly talents until they became dim and without light. What a powerful youngster! I've captured a type of supreme heavenly might. This is a supreme being of a generation, and he has even stepped into the ranks of kings. Many old kings were terrified. This type of pressure was too great. Even their king-level foundations couldn't help but tremble. This made them lose their self-control one after another. Just what kind of background did this terrifying king have? It was simply as if a tsunami had sunk the earth. The great power of heaven and earth collapsed. Everyone cried out in alarm. Su Yan's strange methods were suppressed. Just who was it that took action? How could he be so powerful to such an extent? I see the sky descending and the great Tao of heaven being released. Could it be the legendary heavenly celestial body? Could it be that Su Yan and the others were going to be suppressed? After all, they weren't the divine king at all. Now that they had encountered an exceptional king, they would most likely be in an extremely miserable state. Roar! The Tai Baokai roared, its voice like thunder. The heavenly might of a king filled the sky, infuriating it. It wanted to summon the 18 banners to trap him. Little Dao. Su Yan's expression was cold. He took a big step forward and shouted, "I hope your tone is as arrogant as your strength." Boom! Su Yan stepped into the sky, his long robe fluttering in the wind. A terrifying brilliance soared up from the top of his head, accompanied by dense and strange characters. It swept through the world, causing the vast mountains and rivers and the magnificent starry sky to tremble. Many people were paying close attention. Su Xianren had disappeared for more than a year. Now that he appeared, he was going to fight against an exceptional king. It truly was eye-catching. However, Su Yan's methods made many formation grandmasters praise him as a celestial. At this moment, heaven and earth rose and fell along with Su Yan. It was as if he was pushing this universe, outlining a terrifying gate that was going to receive the boundless power of the universe's origin. Mystic 9 Escape Technique, Divine Shield. Su Yan's entire body rippled with heaven-overflowing ripples. He drew upon the universe's origin power and evolved the Mystic Gate's supreme escape technique, the Divine Shield's Profound. Even though the sky was descending, it was still stopped at this moment. The Divine Shield's Profound used the universe as the Tao and heaven and earth as the furnace. Once it was ignited, it could obtain the power of the universe and suppress powerful enemies. At this moment, the universe seemed to have been cut off by Su Yan, and it transformed into an ancient door. Strands of divine brilliance gushed out from within, and they outlined an enormous figure that filled the starry sky. It was unknown how tall it was. The king who was walking over from the distance and gathering the great Tao of heaven were all blocked. What a good Su Yan! He has already cultivated the Mystic Gate's lineage to such a level. He can already conquer the domain of kings as a celestial god. The older generation sighed. He originally had absolute combat strength, but who would have thought that Su Yan would walk so far on the path of the Mystic Gate's lineage? Now, he was already a shocking figure who could contend with kings. Su Yan, you have exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect the Han family's Mystic 9 escape technique to fall into your hands. The figure walking over from the distance became clearer and clearer. It was a man in snow-white robes. His body exuded a terrifying power of the great Tao, as if he was a carrier of the great Tao. He was filled with an unfathomable foundation. "It's really him!" someone exclaimed. The young paragon of the sky bamboo lineage, Song Tian. Everyone was in an uproar. They didn't expect that after East Demon came out, another legendary figure would arrive. It was even Song Tian who had stepped into the realm of the Divine King. This was an invincible physique, one of the strongest in the universe. "So you're Song Tian." Su Yan's eyes turned cold. He shouted, "Jumping out to target my brother, you're quite impressive. Why are you the same as East Demon? You also want to fight me?" Song Tian's expression was indifferent. He was born with a noble aura. His body flowed with the immortal rhythm of the great Tao, causing the universe to surge with him as if he had become one with the great Tao. This made many people feel ashamed of their inferiority. They felt that standing next to him, they couldn't even be called a green leaf. Su Yan, you're indeed extraordinary. To be able to kill your way out of such an environment and even rise from the ranks of the buried region, I have to say that this is a miracle. Song Tian's expression was indifferent. He looked at Su Yan and smiled. Back then, you came to my lineage. Unfortunately, I was in seclusion. I didn't expect that after coming out, I would have stepped into the realm of the Divine King. But you're still in the celestial god realm. If I were to fight you now, it would be bullying the weak. These words made many people sigh. The Sky Bamboo lineage was an overlord race that could provide an exceptional environment for them to cultivate all the way to the Divine King realm. There were also people who frowned. Was Song Tian a little too conceited? They had all witnessed Su Yan's growth. Even the supreme experts of the same generation were killed by him. Even the legends of the ancestral hall were destroyed because of him. They couldn't belittle Su Yan just because of the difference in cultivation level. Moreover, the Divine King realm was already very close to Su Yan. Su Yan, you don't need to do anything. My master will be here soon. He can destroy Su Yan with a single hand. The two golden creatures roared furiously. They were extremely resentful. They had lost too much face. These words caused the people in the surroundings to cry out in alarm. Just how powerful was their master? He actually dared to say such a thing? Destroy Su Yan with a single hand? Two arrogant lackeys. Luo Dali was furious. He pointed at them and shouted, "Why didn't I see the master behind you when my big brother swept through the chaos ruins? You even destroyed my big brother with a single hand. You don't even have the qualifications to carry my big brother's shoes. Motherf **Ker, isn't it just a divine king? What are you so arrogant for?" Baokai also roared indignantly. "You guys have cultivated for hundreds of years, or even thousands of years. What are you so arrogant about? You're speaking as if we can't cultivate to the Divine King realm." Baotsai's words made many people nod. Su Yan had only cultivated for a short period of time. He had risen up only a few decades ago and rushed from the Tao Gate realm to the Heavenly Deity realm. The Divine King realm was too close for him. Very good. I hope you can still say these words later. Don't regret it when the time comes. The two golden creatures became increasingly calm. Some people wouldn't know what a heavenly talent was if they didn't receive a blow. Since the existence behind you wants to make a move, then I'll let it go. Song Tian's expression was indifferent as he said, "I didn't want to compete with you, Su Yan. The reason why I'm standing out is to thank you." "Don't be so hypocritical," Su Yan sneered. Song Tian walked over and appeared in front of Su Yan. The power of the great Tao flowed around him, isolating him from the space-time. He said to Su Yan calmly, "I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. My clan's Bamboo Moon has her current achievements mostly because of the birth of the taboo in the past. Even my clan's Almighty is full of praise and wants to nurture her with all their resources. Even I feel ashamed for you when you say this." Su Yan's eyes were cold as he said, "Why is the appearance of Sky Bamboo Mountain making you flustered?" "Ha ha ha ha." Song Tian looked up to the sky and laughed. The great Tao flowed around his body, giving him an innate nobility. He laughed loudly and said, "Su Yan, you are gravely mistaken. My clan has been a peak clan since ancient times and has been glorious for generations. I know you want to say that all of this is related to Song Tian." Su Yan said coldly, "Don't end up like Zhu Tian in the ancestral hall. This glory doesn't belong to you." "Su Yan, you've gone overboard with your words." Song Tian frowned and said coldly, "Do you really think that you're invincible in this world and that you've truly become the leader of your generation?" "That's not it," Su Yan said coldly, "but all my enemies will be crushed by me. No one is an exception." "What a great Su Yan!" Song Tian's eyes were cold as he said coldly, I hope you can still say this in the future. This golden age is just the beginning. There's more. There was a smile on Song Tian's face. Let me tell you something else. Feng Tianyu came to my clan to propose marriage. I really hope that my clan sister can have a good home. Her fate was indeed miserable in the past. My father did treat Bamboo Moon unfairly for the sake of me and the Han family. However, as the leader of the clan, a little sacrifice is nothing. Since Bamboo Moon has achieved so much, I really hope that she can have a good home. If you don't disappear from my sight, I'm afraid you'll die a miserable death. Su Yan's eyes emitted a terrifying cold aura. Zhu Yu's tragic experience in the past was described as insignificant by him. When he said it in such a dignified manner, Su Yan's heart was filled with shock and anger. Ha! Song Tian shook his head slightly. His clan had already passed down the order to not fight with the Zhongyu clan. Tianzhu's Almighty had also passed down a decree. If it weren't for this, he really wanted to teach Su Yan a lesson. What are they talking about? Many of the onlookers frowned. They couldn't hear what they were talking about because they were isolated by the energy of the great Tao. However, Song Tian left soon after, leaving the onlookers stunned. It's a pity that they didn't fight. Someone said regretfully, I heard that Song Tian fused with a heavenly Tao stone a long time ago. His physique must be terrifying. Chapter 1106. I've heard of the heavenly Law Stone. It's a supreme precious material. The older generation was secretly speechless. Song Tian actually had such an opportunity. As expected of the Sky Bamboo lineage, they were truly willing to pay a great price for their young supreme expert. There were Tao Palace elders here who were all endlessly astonished. The Sky Bamboo lineage could actually find such a rare item. After all, the heavenly Law Stone was a supreme precious material. What great courage! An old sect master sighed in amazement. They can even refine the heavenly Law Stone. What great courage! It seems like the Sky Bamboo lineage's hidden supreme expert has already evolved to an unrivaled physique. What do you mean? Someone asked. They didn't understand the heavenly Law Stone, but those who knew the inside story knew that the heavenly Law Stone was the Han family's supreme inheritance. Not only was it a sect's treasure, but it was also a rare immortal treasure that could allow one to comprehend the Tao. It was truly difficult for the heavenly Law Stone to take form. This was a supreme treasure nurtured by the heavens above, and it would easily need millions of years to grow. Once this supreme precious material was used to train soldiers, it would become a supreme great Tao sacred weapon. There was even a chance that it could contend against a supreme treasure. Of course, the Han family's heavenly Law Stone was very small. Otherwise, it would have been refined into a supreme treasure long ago. They could even use the heavenly Law Stone to exchange for the Earth Pattern chapter. This was not a loss for the Han family. A supreme precious material refined into a precious liquid to refine the body. Many people's eyes were filled with shock. Wasn't this too frightening? Since ancient times, who dared to do such a thing? However, Song Tian did just that. He used the heavenly Law Stone to refine the supreme precious liquid to perfect his Song Tian body. This constitution made up for his flaws and evolved to perfection. Once he matured, he would definitely become an unrivaled king. Song Tian has merged with the heavenly Law Stone. The Sky Bamboo lineage's foundation is also tyrannical, but compared to our chaotic valley, there is still a gap. As for the two golden creatures, they sneered. They didn't think this was a big deal. This method was extremely formidable, but their master also possessed this kind of resource that the common people couldn't even dream of. It wasn't as simple as just once or twice. If Song Tian and Xiaoming were to fight, who would be stronger? Some people were secretly comparing them. After all, Song Tian had already stepped into the realm of the Divine King. It shouldn't be difficult for him to become an Almighty. Could he be another Sky Bamboo Almighty? No way. Someone shook his head and said directly, Chiu Ming and Song Tian won't fight. I heard from the elders of my family that a few days ago, a group of experts from the Sealing Heaven region went to the Heavenly Bamboo Branch with betrothal gift. They wanted to get engaged to one of their proud daughters. Who is it? This was a huge matter, and it caused some of the women who admired Chiu Ming to feel dejected. In the past, Chiu Ming had wanted to be engaged to the Han family's Han Weiran, but even after 100 years of rumors, there was still no conclusion. But no one had thought that this time, the Sealing Heaven region would directly send betrothal gifts without any warning. They wanted to get engaged to a proud daughter of the Heavenly Bamboo Branch. This was a huge matter. After all, it was related to Chiu Ming, and it was even related to the marriage between the two major clans. Some people sneered. Back then, Chiu Ming didn't save Han Weiran when she was in danger, causing her to lose all face. Even before the Han family was destroyed, Chiu Ming didn't say anything, nor did he have any intention of standing up for Han Weiran. But now, they heard that the Sealing Heaven region had gone to the Heavenly Bamboo Branch to send betrothal gifts for Chiu Ming. With Chiu Ming's current achievements, the Sealing Heaven region wouldn't have acted on their own if he didn't like her. Chiu Ming is a vile person. He let Han Weiran down. Since the battle on the Great Dao City's arena, many people were disappointed in Chiu Ming. He wasn't a real man. It's not clear who it is. Someone who knew the inside story shook his head and said, It's said that the Heavenly Bamboo Branch didn't agree immediately. They said that the pearl of their clan has a high status in the clan and is deeply loved by the Almighty of Heavenly Bamboo. They will only know when the Almighty of Heavenly Bamboo comes out of seclusion. I think the Almighty of Heavenly Bamboo will most likely agree when he comes out of seclusion. That's because the person from the Sealing Heaven region who came to propose marriage said that if the marriage is confirmed, the taboo of their clan will step forward and preside over the wedding. Another piece of news spread, causing the cultivators present to exclaim. The taboo would preside over the wedding for them. This was too shocking. Many people felt that this matter was most likely going to happen. The Sealing Heaven region had brought out the taboo. Would the Almighty of Heavenly Bamboo not agree? Moreover, once this marriage was completed, the relationship between the two major clans would be incomparably close. In the future, they would be able to work together to deal with the calamity. Your love rival is coming out? Bao Kai ran over with a treacherous smile. Bao Kai, you're wrong. How can a little Chiu Ming steal my sister-in-law? Luo Dali said with a straight face. Brat, look at you. How dare you argue with this beast god? Bao Kai bared his teeth and said, You're not even married yet, but you're already calling her sister-in-law. What kind of scandal is this? Don't let others laugh at you. That's right. Luo Dali said seriously. Did I say something wrong? Bao Kai and Luo Dali almost quarreled. Su Yen could vaguely understand their good intentions. They were probably worried that he would be irritated. However, he was in the divine spirit realm, and even Chiu Ming couldn't suppress him. Su Yen wouldn't take Chiu Ming too seriously now. Tensor hasn't returned after so long. I'm worried that something might have happened to him. Let's go and look for him, Su Yen suddenly said. Almost half a day had passed, but Tensor still hadn't returned. Su Yen was a little worried. They're just brothers catching up. I'm afraid they'll cry and laugh when they see each other. What are you worried about? Bao Kai didn't think much of it. He grinned and said, Maybe he'll convince East Demon. At that time, we'll join forces with East Demon and directly chop Chiu Ming into pieces. Luo Dali's heart palpitated. If they could convince East Demon, wouldn't their team be a little too heaven-defying? You want to leave? At this time, just as Su Yen and the others were about to leave, the two bruised and swollen golden creatures instantly rushed over. They sneered and said, If you're scared, you can get lost. But if you want to leave standing, that won't do. The discussion in the surroundings dispersed. It seemed that this matter wasn't over yet. Get lost. Who would have thought that Su Yen would turn his head directly? His eyes were surging with cold air. A furious roar exploded, resounding through the sky. His aura was terrifying beyond compare. The two golden creatures trembled. The void bloomed with bloody light. They flew out horizontally. Their bodies were riddled with holes from Su Yan's roar. Even their bones were broken. Their appearance was incomparably miserable. The deities didn't have too much pity. Did they really think Su Xianren was a soft persimmon? He could even kill the ancestral Hall's Zhu Tian, so why would he fear two slaves? What are you doing? The two great golden creatures were scared out of their wits. Seeing Su Yen walking towards them step by step, they were frightened to death. It didn't seem like a human figure was walking towards them, but more like a purgatory that was covering them. It made them terrified and uneasy. Bang! Su Yen raised his large hand and directly slapped downwards. Some people couldn't bear to watch. These two golden creatures were probably finished. The consequences of angering Su Xianren were quite severe. However, just as this palm was about to land on their bodies, a terrifying chaotic beam of light rushed over. It was like a great primal chaos rend. It cleaved open a crack over 100,000 li long and enveloped the two blood-stained golden creatures. Who is it? What a terrifying energy fluctuation! The expressions of everyone in the surroundings changed. They saw a figure quickly rush over. Heaven and earth trembled along the way and even the void collapsed. This figure was suffused with chaotic fluctuations. It seemed as if it was going to crush the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains. Su Yan's eyes became serious as he gazed at the source. He caught an extremely strong aura of time. This feeling made Su Yan shiver inwardly. This might very well be a creature that had lived for an endless amount of time. Could it be that there was a taboo inheritance behind them? Master, this madman almost killed us. Master, please seek justice for us. The two golden creatures directly knelt on the ground. Their words made many people panic. This was the master that they said was going to single-handedly destroy Su Yen? When the chaotic fluctuations around the mysterious expert's body scattered, a young cultivator appeared. This made the surrounding spectators inwardly apprehensive. This person was tall and looked almost exactly the same as a human cultivator. His face was as sharp as a knife and his expression was cold. However, there was a vertical eye between his brows. Chaotic gas was rising from it, making it impossible to see clearly. I already know about what happened just now. You two are too rude. I asked you to invite fellow Taoist Su Yen to my official residence for a chat. But you two didn't. What was surprising was that they thought a battle would break out here. Who would have thought that their master would directly lecture them with a solemn face? His face emitted a kind of majesty that could not be disobeyed. Master, the two golden creatures were terrified. They hurriedly kowtowed and begged their master to forgive their sins. Su Yen was a little surprised. He looked at this tall man with a chaotic vertical eye between his brows. Su Yen caught a sense of threat. Although he tried his best to suppress his energy fluctuation, the vague aura in this person's body was very strong. I don't have the time to teach you a lesson now. I'll punish you when we return to the valley. The man with the vertical eye snorted coldly. Then, his gaze turned to Su Yen. A smile appeared on his cold face. He said, "This is most likely Su Yen, who has been famous in the Chaos Ruins in recent years. I've heard of your name for a long time." "I don't deserve your name. I heard that you've been looking for me." "What's the matter?" Su Yen asked. He did not think that this man was a kind person. "This is not the place to talk. Fellow Taoist, please follow me. I've already arranged a banquet in my official residence." The man with the vertical eye had a smile on his face. His tone was very sincere as he invited Su Yen to be a guest. "I have something to do now. It's not convenient. Maybe another day." Su Yen shook his head slightly. "Good for you, Su Yen. The golden creature kneeling on the ground had an evil look on his face. He glared at him and shouted, "My master is the peerless Ingjia of the Chaos Valley. How dare you refuse my master's invitation?" The expressions of some of the elders nearby, who had lived for a long time, changed drastically. Even the people from the Tao Church were dumbfounded. They came from the Chaos Valley. No wonder they were so arrogant. I didn't think that this mysterious force would invite Su Yan to be a guest. There were also elders from the Tao Church who were surprised. Although Su Yan was a famous overlord of the younger generation, it should not be enough to attract the attention of the Chaos Valley, right? What Chaos Valley? I don't know. Su Yan shouted coldly. But you two, slaves, have disrespected me time and time again. I really don't dare to kill you. Impudent! The man with the vertical eyes' expression darkened. He shouted angrily, "You're becoming more and more unruly. I'm talking to Su Yan. Who allowed you to interrupt?" The two golden creatures were scared out of their wits and did not dare to speak anymore. Su Yan. The man with the vertical eyes' expression softened slightly. He looked at him and said, "I have something urgent to discuss with you. It cannot be delayed." "Why? Do you want to force me to do something I don't want to do?" Su Yan frowned and said, "It is indeed inconvenient for me right now. If you are sincere in your invitation, I will pay you a visit in person another day. How about that? I won't force you to do something you don't want to do. But won't you give me some face?" The black-clothed young man's aura was starting to become terrifying. The chaotic vertical eye between his eyebrows was shining, revealing a horrifying scene. Boom! In his vertical eye, the sun and moon were destroyed, and chaos was reenacted. It emitted a supreme chaotic space-time mystery that was magnificent to the extreme. Some of the experts who were paying attention to his vertical eye were shocked. It was as if they had been struck by lightning. They coughed up blood and were terrified. They did not dare to look directly at his vertical eye. Could he be one of the 9 scions of the Chaos Valley? The Tao Church's old man's expression changed. Had a great era really come? Once a few of the 9 scions of the Chaos Valley took action, how many people in the world could match them? Chapter 1107. It was as if a primal chaos I had been born from the primal chaos. It was filled with the profound mysteries of primal chaos, as if the great Tao of primal chaos was present here. It was grand and peerless because it contained space-time fluctuations. What kind of power is the Valley of Primal Chaos? Only a few old-timers' expressions changed when they heard about the Valley of Primal Chaos. This power was not only ancient but also ridiculously powerful. It was a colossal orthodoxy that was not inferior to the sealed heaven region. If this person was really one of the 9 scions of the Valley of Primal Chaos, then his identity was terrifying. He could represent a colossal orthodoxy. Although Su Yan was tyrannical, compared to the 9 scions of Primal Chaos, it was extremely difficult. Su Yan's emotions did not fluctuate too much. His vertical eye was indeed tyrannical and peerless, perhaps even stronger than the eye of myriad demons of the north. However, Su Yan was not afraid. He said indifferently, "How about this? I'll come find you at night. If you have any business, we can sit down and talk." The mysterious man from the Valley of Primal Chaos had a terrifying primal chaos flame faintly rising from his body. When the vertical eye between his eyebrows opened and closed, it surged with an indescribable pressure. It was as if the profound mysteries of primal chaos that had been dormant since ancient times were quietly being released. One had to admit that he was very powerful. Even his words carried a kind of pressure. Moreover, the leakage of his strength represented his attitude. Some people's expressions changed. It was obvious that he was using peaceful means before resorting to force. They were afraid that if Su Yan did not agree, he would forcefully take action. After all, the servants under him had treated Su Yan very badly. Su Yan. The entire place was in an uproar. Everyone was aghast. However, no matter how high this Shurjie's cultivation level was, it did not surpass the peak of the Divine King. Perhaps he was also a heavenly god. As expected, he is the youngest of the 9 scions of primal chaos. Seeing that Shurjie did not reprimand his servants this time, the other golden creature also stood up and laughed nastily. Give you face? Even if your clan leader came, he would have to respectfully greet Lord Shurjie as a senior. I can't stand these 2 servants of yours. Su Yan's eyes were filled with killing intent. He wanted to kill them. This group of people was too much. They dared to humiliate the old leader just because they had a shocking background. You don't have to worry about that, fellow Taoist. I will educate them myself. Chaos Valley? Chaos 9? I don't know. Ha ha, I need your help. Our Valley of Chaos has reigned supreme over the world for generations. The other golden creature sneered as well. We're not here to discuss this with you because we need your help. Our master cherishes talent and is worried that you'll die for no reason. The Valley of Chaos has an ancient heritage. It is a forbidden zone for life in the Chaos ruins. The Valley of Chaos is different from the Sealed Heaven region. There are very few successors in the Valley of Chaos. Rumor has it that other than the Valley Master of the Valley of Chaos, there are 9 other children in the Valley of Chaos. They are said to be the descendants of the Valley Master of the Valley of Chaos. They are known as the 9 Children of Chaos. A trembling voice sounded, causing great chaos and panic. Everyone was almost scared silly. This left everyone stupefied and in disbelief. They all felt a chill run down from head to toe. What kind of inheritance was this exactly? What race? How could it be so heaven-defying and terrifying? And this was the 9th child of chaos. He was probably the weakest of the bloodlines, but he was only the weakest. The backing behind him was enough to make the geniuses of all races despair. What was background? What was backing? Su Yan's eyes released a cold light. He said coldly, "Your servants really have foul mouth. If you can't discipline them, I can teach them a lesson for you." Shurjie frowned. He had his hands behind his back, and his aura became more and more shocking. A heavy fluctuation of time rose from his body. He said coldly, "I admit that you're very strong, but this world is far more shocking than you understand. The Golden Age is nothing in front of my clan. I'm just cherishing talent. In the future, the lives of geniuses will be as cheap as paper. I admire you very much, but your clan will face a great disaster in the future. I think you should join my Valley of Chaos. A better choice." Su Yan wanted to hear what else he could say. Sensing the change in Su Yan's expression, the 9th child of Chaos attitude became a bit more honest. Body refinement with supreme treasured liquid? This isn't that rare. It's nothing to the Valley of Chaos. As the surrounding people listened, they really lost control and went berserk. They really wanted to pull out the 9th child of Chaos and beat him up. These resources are indeed very tempting, Su Yan praised. Now, many of the clans knew the inside story. They were all searching for lost inheritances from prehistoric times, hoping that in the future changes of the universe, the clans could quickly adapt to this environment. It had to be said that this was very tempting. You 9 children of chaos. Are there any females? Su Yan suddenly asked. Su Yan said somewhat shyly, "I went to the Valley of Chaos for no reason and ate and drank. Isn't it a bit unethical to use these resources? I think if your clan has an outstanding daughter of heaven, I can consider marrying into your family." The nearby people were dumbfounded. He hadn't even gone yet, but he was already considering the outstanding women of the Valley of Chaos. The young people present were all jealous. What dignity! They didn't care if they could marry into the family. The 2 great golden creatures pointed at Su Yan and almost went mad with anger. "Since I'm now half the master of the Valley of Chaos, it's only right for me to clean up the Valley of Chaos and get rid of a bunch of rotten fish and crabs." He immediately attacked horizontally, his figure blazing brilliantly like a star as he rushed towards the limits of the great earth. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, Su Yan's body turned back, bringing back two heads. In a split second, he directly hacked apart two powerful golden creatures. Shi Jie had his hands behind his back. The vertical eye between his brows emitted chaotic light. It's just two servants. They were disobedient earlier. Indeed, he should be killed. Update soonest. The new 81st Chinese network. Chapter 1108. The atmosphere here was stifling. The two servants of the Valley of Chaos had been killed by Su Yan. The stench of blood was thick. But now, the ninth son of Chaos appeared calm. He didn't care about the two dead servants, but he directly said that Su Yan couldn't live. The Valley of Chaos origins are too great. Isn't Su Yan going too far by doing this? Someone whispered. He had a certain understanding of the mysterious Valley of Chaos, and there was a certain amount of fear in his heart. From what he knew, the Valley of Chaos foundations were too strong, and they had very few masters. Their peak foundations definitely surpassed the sealed heaven region. Hearing this, some nearby people frowned and some sneered back. Who is Su Yan? A peerless overlord. Their Valley of Chaos foundations are indeed heaven-defying, but the ninth son of Chaos made Su Yan lower his head and even kneel. Who does he think Su Yan is? The ninth son of Chaos isn't just ignoring Su Yan, he's also ignoring everyone in the world. That's right, what Dao Friend says makes sense. These words attracted many people's agreement. Su Yan had slaughtered his way to where he was now, shaking the Chaos ruins. He wasn't a pushover. How could the ninth son of Chaos make Su Yan submit? He was indeed too arrogant. Many people used to say that to me. Unfortunately, they're all dead, Su Yan replied coldly. There are many who don't believe in heresy. Since I've met you, everything is over. Under the trembling gazes of all around, the ninth son of Chaos erupted. He was no longer silent. At this moment, his aura completely changed. It was difficult to describe his strength. His entire body flowed with a terrifying aura that forcibly tore apart the sky. The world was like a piece of paper, swaying in front of him. It rose and fell, emitting a trembling wail. What was strength? At this moment, Shi Jie was peerless. Was he still a heavenly deity? A heavenly deity proved the Tao of the universe, but at this moment, the world was trembling beneath his feet. All matter was suppressed. Only he was resplendent and overflowing. The peerless power of a heavenly deity was revived. He was like a king, peerless and unmatched. What a terrifying ninth son of Chaos! The successor of the Valley of Chaos is too powerful. The gods were terrified, and many young overlords were panicking. Heavenly deities controlled the great Tao of heaven and earth, but the ninth son of Chaos forcibly suppressed the great Tao of heaven and earth beneath his feet. He was stepping on the great Tao, invincible. Don't forget that he was the weakest of the 9 scions of primal chaos. Su Yan, I'll give you another chance. It's not too late for you to back out now. Otherwise, it'll be too late for regrets. Don't lose this precious opportunity. Shi Jie looked down at Su Yan, and his aura became extremely frightening. He was like an invincible being born from the primal chaos, and his body was suffused with the aura of a god that shocked the world. It suppressed the vast world, and dense primal chaos energy flowed within it. I will also give you a chance to take back your words. Otherwise, you will also regret it, Su Yan replied coldly. I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Goodbye. Hong. Boundless chaotic energy came down densely, drowning the entire space. The pressure it contained made the experts in all directions tremble in fear. Every wisp of chaos was as heavy and powerful as a dragon. They crushed the mountains and rivers, causing the earth to rumble. Many old antiques felt their blood run cold. Was this still a heavenly deity? He was so powerful that he wasn't weaker than a king. It was too shocking. The moment the sea of chaos gushed out, It contained a peerless aura that could suppress all enemies in the world. Just how powerful is the Valley of Chaos? That's because the weakest ninth sun actually has such a powerful battle prowess. Can Su Yan block the ninth sun of Chaos attack? I think Su Xianren's battle strength is enough to replace the overlords of the world and compete with the geniuses of the Valley of Chaos. Everyone was in an uproar. There were many heroes gathered here, and they were all shaken by the ninth sun of Chaos battle strength. He was like a king who controlled heaven and earth, looking down on his peers. He contained a spirit that could suppress everything. Now, he had even gathered great magic power and wanted to forcefully suppress Su Yan. Boom! Billowing chaos fell to the ground. Large black cracks appeared in the world one after another, spreading far and wide. The chaos that filled the sky poured down, drowning out everything. It was all aimed at Su Yan. Such shocking divine strength really made some old divine king tremble. If the ninth son of chaos stepped into the divine king realm, his foundation would be unimaginable. But what was shocking was that even as the sea of chaos submerged him, Su Yan was still standing. He stood tall between heaven and earth, his long robes fluttering in the wind. No matter how the chaos pressed down on him, Su Yan was still standing. It was as if he was standing in another world, impervious to all magic and undisturbed by the chaos energy. It's just the Tao and magic of the Mystic Gate lineage. There's nothing to worry about. You can control the power of heaven and earth, but in my eyes, what does heaven and earth count for? A cold and indifferent voice sounded out. The ninth son of chaos eyes widened. The chaotic energy that fell down instantly evolved into thousands upon thousands of bolts of lightning. These bolts of lightning contained a terrifying destructive force that riddled the space around them with holes. But in this collapsing world, Su Yan still didn't move. But the sky was changing, and a bright light flashed in the darkness. It shocked all the experts. It was as if they were seeing a heavenly punishment descending. The atmosphere was gloomy, and the sky full of bright lightning fell from the sky, vaguely revealing a kind of heavenly might. With the origin of the universe, lightning is born. This seems to be a secret of the divine firmament sect? An elder in the Tao Palace was surprised. When did Su Yan learn the divine firmament sect's lightning profundity? In any case, the chaos lightning and the heavenly lightning collided, and this place completely collapsed. In the destroyed spacetime, someone saw the ninth sun of chaos blazing brilliantly. His body revealed a boundless foundation. You are more powerful than I imagined. You are qualified to make me attack. The ninth son of chaos swooped down in an instant. He was like a chaos sword essence under the night sky. His body was extremely blazing, like a peerless sword essence soaring across the sky, releasing a chaotic sword light that was tens of thousands of feet long. It split the sky. Don't give me that high and mighty attitude. I really want to kill you. Su Yan's eyes widened. He moved like a god and demon, and his blood essence blazed. Moreover, as Su Yan's chest rose and fell, there was the sound of mountains and seas roaring. Dong! Su Yan rushed forward, his palm forming a fist seal, and smashed forward. The sword light that was tens of thousands of feet long arrived first. The dense chaotic sword light was enough to slaughter all living things. But Su Yan's fist directly hammered on it, and the sword light that was tens of thousands of feet long exploded. Slash! The ninth son of chaos shouted. His figure was like a chaos sword essence, surging with an even more brilliant sword light, filled with terrifying heavenly might, and a kind of space-time profundity fluctuation. What a terrifying sword light! Even the cultivators of the great Tao city were shocked. They all saw a sword light soar in the sky in the distance, illuminating the entire region. A chaotic sword light illuminated the region. It was peerlessly sharp, so piercing that it almost made one's eyes bleed. This was a secret of the chaotic valley, known as the chaotic spacetime sword. A sword slash was boundless, magnificent to the extreme. Who is contending for supremacy? It seems to be the chaotic pagoda region. Let's go and take a look. I heard that Su Xianren was contending for supremacy with Eastern Demon. I hope we won't miss it. The heroes of the great Dao city were boiling. A large number of powerhouses left the city to watch the battle. But just as they rushed halfway, they were shaken by strands of terrifying aura until their eyes darkened. An immortal heavenly furnace seemed to be burning in front of them. The rippling blood essence was powerful beyond compare, outlining a giant dragon in the sky that overlooked all desolation and 10 lands. Vast ocean-like energy surged, shaking heaven and earth. It was as if an imposing giant had risen from the ground, its divine might not inferior to the chaotic space-time sword. Who is that? The older generation paled. The confrontation in front of them was too tyrannical. A figure crossed the sky, but it emitted a monstrous foundation. The fist it brandished was matchless, and it bombarded the grand sword light, forming a destructive heavenly wind. Bang! The space-time in front of them exploded. A storm surged, overturning rivers and seas. Everything collapsed into 2 pieces. It was a shocking scene. Everyone saw it. Su Yan was like a human-shaped vicious dragon, shattering the chaotic space-time sword with a single fist. Moreover, his entire person swooped down close to the ground, rushing to the end of the earth like a comet. He launched a peerless slaughter, attacking the 9th son of primal chaos. Slash! Shijie roared. He had comprehended Su Yan's tyrannical strength. The shattered chaotic space-time sword reassembled, becoming even more resplendent. Although the sword body that appeared this time was only 3 feet long, it had condensed the essence of the chaotic space-time sword. With a light sweep of the peerless sword embryo, it split open the sky. Kill! Su Yan roared in anger, his long hair fluttering wildly. His aura was pushed to its peak state in an instant. His fist was released, like a dragon soaring through the sky, containing a tyrannical and peerless might. With a punch, the 4 seas trembled. A true dragon coiled around his fist, directly smashing into the chaotic space-time sword. Boom! The shockwaves from this collision were vast and boundless. Even the chaotic space-time sword in the chaotic valley was trembling. The 9th son of primal chaos's condensed divine ability essence was blasted out, piercing through some nearby mountains. Su Yan, I'll give you one more chance. Subdue me, or I'll kill you without mercy. The 9th son of primal chaos's eyes blazed, staring at Su Yan as if he was looking at a precious treasure. This was a peerless general. Once he subdued him, he would be nurtured. He would be like a tiger that had grown wings. You're nothing. You don't even have the qualifications to follow me. Come and accept your death. Su Yan was enraged. His figure soared into the sky, his fighting strength surging to the peak. The fighting strength of a 7th heaven celestial god was released. A giant god of heaven and earth was born, exuding a might that was unmatched by those of his generation. I'll suppress you and make you submit to me. The 9th son of primal chaos's vertical eye was brilliant, as if the ancient chaos was giving birth to a god. His vertical eye was filled with the supreme profundities of the primal chaos. Strands of source chi flowed out, easily able to crush the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains. The chaotic heavenly eye has fused with the source of source chi. Could it be the peerless Yingjie of the chaotic valley? The spectators who rushed over from afar lost their composure, recognizing the origin of the chaotic heavenly eye. This was one of the most powerful heavenly eyes in history, the chaotic heavenly eye, exclusively belonging to the races of the chaotic valley. But Shijie's chaotic heavenly eye had been tempered with the primal chaos source chi. His vertical eye was truly powerful and peerless. Once it opened, it illuminated the entire region. His vertical eye seemed to spew out 3,000 gods and demons, setting him off to a supreme level. Chapter 1109. What a tyrannical heavenly eye! Is this the legendary primal chaos heavenly eye? I can vaguely sense origin energy. Refining the primal chaos heavenly eye with primal chaos origin energy, and then perfecting it. Just what kind of background does the primal chaos valley have? Isn't this method too extravagant? This is primal chaos origin energy. Who is the primal chaos valley's expert fighting with? Why do I feel that it's somewhat familiar? The scene caused a huge commotion. Anyone could see just how heaven-defying this vertical eye was. It could easily suppress the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains. It circulated with the profound mysteries of primal chaos, and when it gushed out, there were grand phantoms of 3,000 gods and demons appearing. Suppress! Jie shouted coldly. Primal chaos surged within his vertical eye. The sun and moon sank as lightning flashed and thunder rolled. The atmosphere was violent to the extreme. It was as if the end of the universe had arrived and enveloped the world. The primal chaos heavenly eye was known as one of the most powerful heavenly eyes in history. It flowed with the power of 3,000 gods and demons and contained boundless space-time fluctuations. It was as if it was suppressing the entire great region. Just this kind of might and elegance was enough to make experts of the same generation feel as if their livers were about to split apart. Even its aura was comparable to that of a king. Was this the primal chaos valley? Jie of each generation possessed unrivaled heavenly might. Even the weakest of the 9 suns could contend with Su Xianren. It's Su Xianren fighting for supremacy with Jie of the primal chaos valley. The spectators who had rushed over cried out in alarm one after another as they saw the sky filled with primal chaos. A figure soared into the sky and transformed into a giant god. He was bathed in primal chaos origin energy and emitted the energy of a deity. He was similarly grand and boundless. The primal chaos valley was a legend of a generation, and Su Xianren was even more so an unrivaled overlord of a generation. The two experts encountered each other. It could be said to be a battle of the pinnacle of their generation. Everything began to tremble as no one could suppress the other's style. When they erupted, charged, and killed each other, the battle instantly progressed to a white-hot level. In a short period of time, they had collided over 10 times. The vast territory trembled violently and violent gales engulfed everything. In this world of flying sand and rolling stones, ghosts wept and gods howled as heaven and earth turned upside down. It was difficult to describe the process of their battle, but it was as if two grand space-time and space were colliding with each other. In this world-shaking battle, everyone witnessed the power of the Valley of Chaos. The phantoms of 3,000 gods and devils weaved together to form the chaotic heavenly abyss. They wanted to suppress Su Yan. However, the more Su Yan fought, the braver he became. In the end, he transformed into a giant god. Kill! He released a long roar. His foundation was released endlessly, gushing out, deriving the great Tao of all things. Su Yan's battle originated from himself. It had nothing to do with the outside world or the universe. This caused Jie's expression to change. He realized that he had underestimated Su Yan. The path that Su Yan walked seemed to be imitating the ancient people. Everything came from the fleshly body. In fact, he had already reached a critical juncture in his cultivation of that path. As the 9th son of primal chaos, he had already begun to re-evaluate Su Yan. He felt that even if the Golden Age came, Su Yan would still be a hero. Maybe he could stand firm. Su Yan, you've really exceeded my expectations. You've walked a completely new path. I have to say that you've made the right choice. The 9th son of primal chaos said. It's a pity that you don't have a foundation. You lack this kind of amazing inheritance. Follow me now, and I can satisfy your desire. I can let you evolve into an extremely astonishing domain on this path. My path is the path of invincibility, Su Yan said softly. I'm afraid that I'll kill you before you even start to teach me. Even though he, the ninth son of primal chaos, had an astonishing origin and viewed the common people as ants, he was now completely enraged by Su Xianren's words. The phantoms of 3,000 gods and devils rumbled. It was as if they had transformed into real gods and devils. They were filled with a spirit that could suppress all things. I'll let you see the cruelty of reality. This world isn't a place where you can obtain supreme power by fighting. The ninth son of primal chaos was serious. 3,000 gods and devils descended into the world. They emitted the profound meaning of primal chaos and released a terrifying pressure. They wanted to directly destroy Su Yan's legend. Su Yan was still unmoving. He evolved heaven and earth. With primal chaos as the foundation and all things as the source, he revealed a peerless battle prowess. No matter how shocking the threat between heaven and earth was, he still stood in the domain of invincibility. Su Yan seems to be suppressed? He's been on the defensive all this time. You have to know that Su Xianren is being suppressed by one of the 9 sons of primal chaos. For Su Xianren to be able to withstand it, he already possesses peerless potential. Some of the older generation evaluated Su Yan. There are 4 sons in the primal chaos valley, and all of them are supreme powerhouses. This is enough to show how heaven-defying the orthodoxy of the primal chaos valley is. Su Yan can withstand his attack. This means that Su Yan really does have an invincible foundation. Someone directly refuted, otherwise the primal chaos valley has forbidden secret techniques and supreme orthodoxies. This is a part of the foundation that Su Xianren lacked. It's impossible for him to stand in the domain of invincibility for a long time. The people in the outside world discussed intensely and almost fought. However, no one thought that Su Yan could suppress the 9th son of primal chaos. Even the weakest son had been nurtured by the most glorious foundation. Shi Jie definitely had extreme battle prowess that couldn't be reversed. Even the powerful ancestral hall wouldn't produce supreme powerhouses every generation. However, the primal chaos valley was different. There had been supreme powerhouses in every generation. In fact, this was related to an ancient legend. It was said that the 9 sons of primal chaos were the descendants of the primal chaos valley master. Although the 9 sons of the dragon were different, the most invincible of the 9 sons of primal chaos was Yingjie. He was equivalent to an invincible seed that had been hidden for a long time. What is the primal chaos valley after? Some people were confused. With such a strong foundation, it would definitely become a giant force. However, the primal chaos valley was very low-key. There were only 10 masters in the valley. Su Yan, this won't do. If this goes on, you'll definitely die. Shi Jie was a little angry. He had been attacking for a long time but couldn't take down Su Yan. He felt that he was losing face. Shouldn't he be suppressing a wild overlord? Your path is only SOSO. Su Yan's eyes suddenly blazed. He said indifferently, "Do you really think you can suppress me by relying on your extraordinary magic power and shocking physique?" Su Yan couldn't help but admit that Xiaoho's words were correct. The future path depended on comprehension. Foundations and resources were not important. Only by walking one's own path would one be invincible. So you're saying that you're shamelessly boasting that you want to understand our lineage's orthodoxy? The 9th son of primal chaos's expression was a little cold. Otherwise, why would I play with you for so long? Su Yan sneered and said, "In the future, your primal chaos valley might target me. Only by understanding your path can I have hope of killing the 9th son. Absolute bastard, I'll kill you, you evil creature." The 9th son of primal chaos was infuriated. He exploded with a furious roar. The power of 3,000 gods and demons was about to be refined together, revealing an unparalleled foundation that could shake the world. "Kill!" Su Yan roared. His aura changed. He had returned from countless tempering, and his dormant battle blood was ignited. At this moment, He was iron-blooded and domineering. The Su Yen of the past had returned, and his roar shook the heavens. He turned into a seed that grew into a heavenly tree. When the beginning sutra was activated, the heavens and earth trembled. Everything was suppressed. No matter how vigorous the ninth son of primal chaos's divine power was, it was suppressed by Su Yan's terrifying strength. It was true that Su Yan had yet to discover his future path and create his own method. However, with his current cultivation, a mere ninth son of primal chaos was nothing. Boom! In the shocked eyes of the gods, they saw that Su Xianren's aura was completely different. Time seemed to return to the reincarnation universe, returning to the legend and glory of Su Yan killing the ancestral palaces Zhu Tian. Dong! He formed a fist imprint with his hands that was incomparably resplendent and disdainful. A fist blasted out, containing the limits of his combat strength, smashing 3,000 demonic phantoms into distortions and collapsing. "Take my fist!" Su Yan roared. The dragon fought in the wilderness. How valiant was he! He released an iron-blooded fist that surged into the heavens. The heavenly eye of primal chaos couldn't suppress Su Yan at all. Su Yan also grasped the supreme resource of primal chaos origin chi. Dong! This fist was bloody and domineering as it smashed toward the ninth son of primal chaos. Shi Jie resisted with his fist, evolving the primal chaos space-time fist. However, Su Yan was too savage. This fist was terrifying beyond compare. It forcefully shattered the bones in Shi Jie's fist, and his entire arm almost exploded. Silver blood flowed out from it. Too violent! Zhu Miaofu was dumbfounded. Only when she saw Su Yan with her own eyes did she realize how terrifying he was. This fist blasted through the primal chaos. It struck the ninth son of primal chaos until silver blood sprayed out from his fist. His entire body was sent flying. Su Yan walked with majestic steps and threw out a second punch. It was still so iron-blooded and domineering. No matter how strong the ninth son of primal chaos was, he couldn't force Su Yan back. Instead, he was bombarded by Su Yan and was forced to retreat repeatedly. Blood flowed out from his mouth and nose. Many old antiques who relied on the Chaos Valley were stunned. Was this still the invincible ninth son of primal chaos? Although the ninth son of primal chaos was the weakest, he also represented legends and glory. However, Su Xianren was iron-blooded and domineering. 2 consecutive punches left the ninth son of primal chaos in a miserable state. Silver blood gushed out from all over his body. He was almost beaten to death by Su Yan. What Chaos Valley? What ninth son of primal chaos? Only the path of invincibility can crush everything. Su Yan's eyes were like lightning, and the clothes on his body were torn apart, revealing his strong body that emitted a suffocating pressure. It was as if he wanted to trample all the exalts in the world and open up an invincible path to heaven. "I'm going to slaughter you!" The ninth son of primal chaos hair was dyed red with blood. His face was filled with a kind of cruelty. This was the burning anger of an invincible, glorious defeat. It caused the ninth son of primal chaos to emit a vast light of time. "You're still so arrogant? Let's see what else you can say after I suppress you." Su Yan pressed forward with large strides. He was calm and domineering. He wanted to figure out why the Chaos Valley was targeting him. "Life and death, vanish and extinguish. I rule over time and space." All of a sudden, the ninth son of primal chaos emitted a solemn and callous voice. His body emitted a terrifying light of time and space, causing the world to descend into darkness. It was as if all living things had been stripped of their lives. At this moment, the ninth son of primal chaos was too strong. He used a terrifying secret technique. It was as if he had transformed into a carrier of time and space. He emitted the light of time and space. He wanted to kill Su Yan. What bullshit time and space? It's just a minor Tao of my great Tao of reincarnation. Su Yan's steps were steady. At the same time, his chest shone. The little person sitting cross-legged within stretched out his limbs and transmitted the voice of the great Tao. The moment it was emitted, it was as if the 6 paths of reincarnation were being reorganized. It revealed the power of reincarnation that ruled over all life. Su Yan activated the great Tao of reincarnation and charged towards the 9th sun of primal chaos. Chapter 11:10. That's the chaotic spacetime technique of the Valley of Chaos. The old antiques of the various races were shocked when the thick ripples of time swept across the area. Legend had it that the Valley of Chaos had an unparalleled secret technique called the chaotic spacetime technique. This ancient secret technique could control time and evolve time. Now, the 9th son of chaos had evolved the chaotic spacetime technique, which emitted a terrifying light of time that could easily make people age and die. This secret technique was extremely terrifying and belonged to the Valley of Chaos. A secret technique that could involve time, and time was definitely not ordinary. Moreover, this chaotic spacetime technique was a peerless secret technique that had been passed down for millions of years in the Valley of Chaos. Boom! The moment the chaotic spacetime technique erupted, the vast region was on the verge of decline. Endless energy was stripped away, and all life in the universe seemed to have come to an end. However, the 9th son of Chaos's aura was much stronger. His palms were surrounded by the terrifying light of time as if 2 dimensions had been born. One had to admit that this secret technique was extremely frightening. It had a great mastery of time and space, and could see the changes of time. However, some old kings frowned slightly. The 9th son of Chaos was indeed amazing, but the chaotic spacetime technique involved the changes of time. Only the Divine King was qualified to use this secret technique to a perfect extent. Even if a celestial god had a shocking foundation, it was still difficult for him to use it. However, he was also a celestial god. However, Su Yan was also a heavenly god. Now that such a powerful secret technique had appeared, would Su Yan be able to endure it? Suppress! Shi Jie roared as the light of time rose from his palms. Chaotic ripples surrounded his palms as he instantly charged at Su Yan. The 2 rays of time and space had already made Su Yan's body start to decline before they even touched Su Yan. Su Yan had to admit that the chaotic spacetime technique was extremely powerful. This secret technique could cut off one's life. After all, it involved the changes of time. If he hadn't mastered the reincarnation Great Tao, it would have been a tough battle. He would have had to use the initial punch to break through the situation. However, he had directly activated his innate ability in the face of the chaotic spacetime technique. In fact, Su Yan had only just glimpsed the door to the Great Tao of reincarnation, so his grasp was limited. After all, the changes of samsara were broad and profound. Even mighty figures would find it difficult to pry into it. As for Su Yan's natural mystique, it evolved on its own. In the past, he had used the 2nd level of the body nurturing technique to refine the essence of the 6 samsara fruits before finally evolving the Great Tao of samsara. Su Yan's grasp of reincarnation Great Tao was not profound, but his destiny divine ability was one of a kind. Buzz. Under the fluctuations of reincarnation, it surged out from Su Yan's chest. The world changed. It became blurry and dark, as if a reincarnation was being carried out. The environment and matter here were going to be rewritten. Even though the primal chaos spacetime technique was extremely powerful and sinister, it was ultimately at a disadvantage against the energy of samsara. Great Tao of samsara. Su Yan struck out with his palm, causing the primal chaos spacetime technique to collapse. Strange fluctuations surged out from his palm, enveloping the 9th son of chaos like a bolt of lightning. The powerhouses outside were shocked. What was going on? What sort of secret technique had Su Yan used to restrain the primal chaos spacetime technique? It had to be known that this was an unrivaled secret technique of the Valley of Chaos, so how could something so reliable happen? The ninth son of Chaos even felt that the outcome of the battle had been decided. A trace of panic appeared in his eyes. This was an expression that had never appeared in his long years. But now, he was panicking because an extremely strange energy was covering his body. At this moment, the ninth son of Chaos was filled with fear. He felt as if his life was slipping away, as if it was being stripped away. This is impossible. I am the controller of time. The ninth son of Chaos roared. He felt as if his lifespan was immortal. Immortal, he had never experienced the loss of his life. But now, his life was indeed slipping away. He even felt as if he was declining, as if his body would explode at any moment. This is... The ninth son of Chaos was seized by fear. He was frightened. He thought of something. This was the energy of samsara. How could Su Yen have grasped this great Tao? This shouldn't be something that he could cultivate. He knew that Su Yen was suspected to have obtained 6 samsara fruits from the samsara universe. But the ninth son of Chaos knew very well that the samsara fruits hadn't been cultivated at all. It was an incomplete samsara medicine. Even if one could eat it and comprehend the great Tao of samsara within, the incomplete samsara medicine had major flaws. Once eaten, one would most likely die. Did one really think that samsara was so easy to comprehend? The answer was the exact opposite. Spying on samsara would result in death if one wasn't careful, unless a complete samsara fruit appeared. But with the current environment, it was impossible for a complete samsara fruit to be born. If a complete samsara fruit were to be born, it would be an immortal medicine. Let alone Su Yen, even if all the mighty figures of the world came out of seclusion, they might not be able to obtain it. This was because if an immortal medicine were to be born, even the taboo would come out of seclusion and forcefully take away the samsara medicine despite the suppression of the universe. But how could Su Yen comprehend the profound meaning of samsara with an incomplete samsara fruit? This left the ninth son of Chaos in despair. 1. He let out a loud roar and stimulated the life force in his body to resist the decline. At the same time, he spat out a chaos seal. Bang! This great imprint gave off an extremely oppressive feeling, giving one a type of spiritual pressure. It was exceptional, the rough embryo of a rare supreme treasure. The great primal chaos imprint moved through the air, quickly enlarging. In an instant it filled the heavens, descending from above. A seal refined from peerless treasured chaos stones. The eyes of all the old antiques turned purple with envy. This was a rare supreme treasure, a chaos seal refined from peerless treasured materials. This was far too extravagant. Such a terrifying material was used to refine a heavenly deity's life weapon. Just how rich was the Valley of Chaos? And a great refiner with shocking eyesight said in a low voice, "This isn't a complete chaos stone seal. Some chaos stones were used and the rest were refined from chaos dark steel. This is already shocking enough. If a seal was refined from complete chaos stones, then the Valley of Chaos would be too frightening. Even supreme beings would covet such a rare, immortal treasure." Someone whispered. Of course, just a few chaos stones were used to refine this chaos seal. The value of this chaos seal was ridiculous. Good stuff. Su Yan's eyes also turned red. Facing the descending chaos seal, Su Yan raised a Fangtian halberd in his hand and released a heaven-suppressing divine might. Motherf *Ker, Su Xianren is also heaven-defying. He used a heaven-suppressing stone to refine his life weapon. This must be the Han family's heaven-suppressing stone. Then, their eyes turned red as they stared at Su Yan's Fangtian halberd. It was extremely heavy, and with a rumble, it hacked down to block the chaos seal. However, this great seal was extremely powerful. It rumbled as it rotated, as if it encompassed the chaotic space. The pressure was endless. Everyone suddenly saw a million great mountains smashing down to suppress Su Yan's life divine weapon. Brat, these are chaos stones. 1 or 2 chaos stones can crush a heavenly deity. Baokai roared in a low voice. His eyes also turned red. The value of chaos stones definitely surpassed the heaven-suppressing stone. Su Yan had already sensed the pressure of the chaos stones. It was too abnormal. He felt as if he was being suppressed by a million great mountains. Kill. He was like a peerless general. With a loud roar, the Fangtian halberd in his hand blazed with a monstrous brilliance. The Kuan Peng lying within instantly attacked, filling the Fangtian halberd with a barbaric divine strength that could break through all techniques. Bang! The primal chaos seal was directly lifted off the ground. The older generation's faces turned green. The young overlord's eyes turned red as well. They could see that Su Xianren's life divine weapon had been refined with a Kuan Peng stone. This was a rare and crude embryo, and its value definitely surpassed the chaos seal. But if a life divine weapon was fused with a chaos stone, it would definitely evolve into an extremely heaven-defying domain. Su Yan is too greedy. You speak as if you aren't greedy? Under the red eyes of everyone present, Su Yan had just broken through the suppression of the chaos stones. He didn't even care about the 9th child of chaos. He laid out an array disc and forcefully suppressed the chaos seal. Bastard, that's my supreme treasure. The 9th child of chaos was enraged. His face turned green. For the sake of a treasure, Su Yan had given up on targeting him. Could it be that he was so worthless in his eyes? He rushed over in anger. The vertical eye between his eyebrows shot out millions of streaks of chaos lightning that hacked towards Su Yan. Moreover, he tried his best to grasp the chaos seal that was about to disappear and take it back. Scram! Su Yan's eyes widened. He pointed the Fangtian halberd at Shijie. The sleeping Kuan Peng roared out once more. Its wings were like clouds that hung down from the heavens. Its massive body covered the skies, and its magic power overflowed. The chaos lightning that filled the skies collapsed. After all, the 9th child of chaos had been affected by samsara and his combat strength had been greatly reduced. The Kuan Peng rushed over and sent him flying away. Everyone present was stunned. The 9th child of chaos had been defeated. This was too fast. The main reason was that their lineage's chaos spacetime technique had been restrained by Su Yan. Otherwise, the 9th child of chaos wouldn't have been defeated so quickly. Su Yan, I'm going to kill you. Facing the questioning gazes from all directions, the 9th child of chaos's face was so ferocious that it almost distorted. He directly removed the seal in his body and roared, "You stole my treasure and provoked my valley of chaos. You worthless genius, I'll kill you." These words made the faces of all the geniuses turn green with anger. They wanted nothing more than to kill the 9th child of chaos. What did he mean by that? He said that Su Yan's life was worthless. Didn't that mean that the lives of all the geniuses in the world were worthless? But who was it that was suppressed by Su Xianren just now? Even his natal divine weapon had been taken away, and his clan's secret technique had been restrained. Under the shocking gazes of all around, the 9th child of chaos roared into the sky. His mouth spat out vast silver ripples that surged and rippled. The impact made the distant world wail. Moreover, his body surged with wisps of terrifying silver light. His entire body turned silver, as if he was the carrier of spacetime, encompassing the vast spacetime. The impact made the entire sky tremble. Su Yan's expression was solemn as he looked at the 9th child of chaos. At this moment, he was extraordinary and peerlessly powerful. He was like a child of taboo who looked down on the heavens. He emitted endless glory and brilliance. Silver symbols spurted out of his flesh as if they were immortal imprints. What kind of bloodline is this? Thousands of geniuses trembled. At this moment they were suppressed. It was as if they were suppressed by a civilization level. They appeared very weak, as if they were congenitally deficient and could not be compared to them. The majestic ninth child of chaos was like a god standing above the heavens. He looked down at Su Yen as if he was looking at a beggar. He said coldly, "Now I'll let you experience what despair is." Su Yan's expression was a little strange. He sensed the anger of the universe's origin. He looked at the ninth child of chaos with pity in his eyes, as if he was pitying him. He said strangely, "Despair? I think you should be the one in despair now." Chapter 11:11. Why do I have such a feeling? Am I still the Iron Blood King? The Iron Blood King's face was somewhat sinister and even twisted. He looked up at the ninth son of chaos, who seemed to be standing above the heavens and had transformed into a peerless god. The Iron Blood King looked at Shurjia with mournful eyes. Suddenly, a kind of anger rose in his heart. He could feel the nobility of the ninth son of chaos. He was insufferably arrogant and regarded the common people here as ant. Only they were the royal family, the masters of the universe. As for them, they were insignificant. The Iron Blood King felt very sullen. What was this? Why did he feel that he was weak and insignificant? They were clearly very strong, but in front of Shurjia, he indeed felt a sense of inferiority. This seemed to be the gap between two civilizations. It was like a higher universe creature had come here and treated them like beggars. The Iron Blood King couldn't bear this feeling. Why was it like this? The ninth son of chaos was indeed terrifying. His body had been sealed, but now that the seal had been opened, the ninth son of chaos was peerlessly powerful. His aura was completely different. It wasn't like Shurjia just now, but like a different person. At this moment, he should be the ninth son of chaos. Thousands of geniuses were furious. There were many strong-willed powerhouses here. Even they, like Shurjia, wouldn't submit to him. But now they felt inferior. What was this? Was this a difference in civilization, a difference in bloodline, or a difference in race? Sigh. It seems that this day will come sooner or later. The universe has changed. Only the elders of the peak races were sighing. They had received some information that the universe was changing, and so was the environment. It was suspected that the environment was returning to prehistoric times. But once the environment changed, then the heavenly arts in the universe would most likely be crippled. This was because they weren't suitable for the universe after the environment changed. This included supernatural powers and physique. The influence was great, but there was a group of people who wouldn't be changed. Instead, they would become stronger. They were the children of taboo. Without a doubt, Shurjia was a bloody example. He had unlocked the seal on his body and obtained the strongest combat strength. He suppressed thousands of geniuses and made them tremble. They were about to submit to him. Life as cheap as paper? Su Yen was also deep in thought. If this day really came, then as they said, life as cheap as paper. So what if he was a genius? The universe's environment had changed, and it wasn't suitable for all living beings to grow. They had to find another path. At this moment, Su Yen saw the state of the ninth scion of chaos. He was even more convinced of his own path. He could not be restrained by the universe, nor could he be affected by the environment. He had to walk his own path. This was the path of invincibility. At first, when Su Yen saw the current Shurjia, he was indeed shocked and moved. If they really fought, it would be hard to say whether he would live or die. After all, Su Yen did not understand what the prehistoric environment was like. He also did not know how powerful Shurjia would be after the seal was broken. But now, Su Yen didn't see it that way. This was because he had caught the anger of the universe's origin. For some reason, ever since the decline of the universe, he had become somewhat close to the universe. Now that he had caught the anger of the universe's origin, the environment did not allow Shurjia to exist. Their glory really did not belong to the present. You're really courting death. Shurjia appeared cold and ruthless. His body was steaming with a silver radiance, powerful and mysterious. He was like a heavenly king who had descended to the world, stepping on the universe and looking down on all living beings. He snorted at Su Yan's words. "It seems I have to make the best use of my time and continue to perfect my path." Su Yan was pondering. He was not in the mood to talk to a dead man. He felt that this day was really coming. Even the immortal graveyard's environment was still preserved in prehistoric times. Once the immortal graveyard opened, if he couldn't perfect his path, it would be a fatal blow to him. "I'm asking you a question. Why aren't you answering?" The ninth scion of Chaos's face was gloomy. He wanted to see Su Yan's face filled with despair. He wanted to see him pleading, but he didn't see it. On the contrary, the latter was indifferent, as if he didn't care about him at all. Shouldn't Su Yan be shocked? Shouldn't he lose his composure? Shouldn't he be terrified? Su Yan looked at Shurjia with a pitiful gaze. He waved at him and said, "Come, let me see what qualifications you have to be so arrogant. What qualifications do you have to be regarded as a heaven's pride and have a life as cheap as paper? You." The ninth scion of Chaos's eyes widened in anger. He growled, "You're good, Su Yan. When I catch you, I'll make you admit defeat." Boom! The sky shook. A huge silver hand swept down from the sky. It was as if a corner of time and space had fallen. It was steaming with the light of time. This attack was definitely stronger than the previous one. It had a heavenly might that judged all living beings. What is Su Yan doing? Everyone lost their composure. Many people wanted to see Su Yan beat up the ninth scion of Chaos and break his arrogance and insolence. However, Su Xianren didn't move. He stood motionless between heaven and earth. What was he doing? Didn't he know who he was facing? Even if Su Xianren was powerful. However, if he was hit by Shurjia's palm, he would be seriously injured even if he didn't die. Could it be? An old man in the Taoist temple thought of something. Then, he saw Shurjia's palm slowly stiffen when it was about to touch Su Yan. It's true. But how did Su Yan know? I'm afraid this guy has some secrets. The knowledgeable old man in the Taoist temple was speechless. He looked up at the sky and saw that the starry sky had changed color. It was originally clear and boundless, but now it was as dark as ink. An extremely oppressive atmosphere filled the entire place. Extremely violent energy was released. Boom! Heaven and earth shook violently. It was as if a Qilint's roar shook the boundless earth, the starry sky, and all living beings in the universe were shaken. Everyone was trembling. This was the aura of disaster, the fury of the universe's origin. Boom! This was a series of blazing lightning bolts that suddenly crossed the sky. They were all outlined by the universe's origin and contained the universe's spiritual will. At this time, the universe's lightning that filled the sky struck down in unison to destroy Shurjia. So, I thought the universe's rules were targeting my constitution, or rather, targeting the beginning sutra. Su Yan murmured, "Looks like it's not. The universe's environment has changed. But what is it? It's affecting the universe's environment. I don't believe it's a change of the universe. Maybe there's some external influence." Everyone was stunned. How could this be? Why would the universe send down heavenly punishment? It even targeted Shurjia. He asked for it. Even the taboo is suppressed by the environment and can't come out. Let alone a child of taboo. The old man in the Taoist temple smiled bitterly. The ninth child of chaos was asking for trouble. His Tao and technique were not tolerated by the universe, so it sent down the universe's heavenly punishment. The universe had its own rules of operation and did not allow the existence of substances that could break the balance of life. Heavenly punishment. Shurjia's expression changed as he looked at the heavenly punishment lightning falling from the sky. Fear rose in his heart. How could this be? Some abilities could not be used because they did not belong to this era and were not suitable for this universe's environment. Hadn't the universe's environment declined? With his strength, he shouldn't have attracted the heavenly punishment's attention. How hateful! If our bloodline was not bound by this universe pond, we would have roamed the 9 heavens and 10 earths long ago and been invincible. The 9th child of chaos roared angrily, but he had not lost his mind to the point of going against the universe's heavenly punishment. Buzz! The 9th child of chaos shot out a large number of secret treasures at lightning speed to resist the universe's origins attack. At the same time, the 9th child of chaos was about to escape. His destination was not far away, but near the Chaos Pagoda. He believed that the Chaos Pagoda could isolate him from the universe's heavenly punishment. Only then could he survive. However, he had just run a few steps when a shadow appeared in front of him. Before the 9th child of chaos could react, Su Yen had already punched him. "Bastard, you're courting death." The 9th child of chaos was furious. If he fell into the land of heavenly punishment, he would die. Did he not know what kind of power the Valley of Chaos was? Did he not know the consequences of provoking the 9th child of chaos? Well done! The Iron Blood King and some others screamed in their hearts. They could not stand the 9th child of chaos. Some people even felt a sense of disgust towards this forbidden zone where they enjoyed the endless resources of the universe. Su Yan's punch was fast, accurate, and ruthless. In a single exchange, the 9th child of chaos was sent flying and once again fell into the universe's heavenly punishment. "Humph, the universe wants to judge you. You'd better go back and accept your judgment. Don't act like you're some big shot." Su Yen smiled coldly, causing some people to secretly cheer. Boom! In the land of heavenly punishment ahead, the 9th child of chaos was in a tragic state. He was struck by the lightning that filled the sky. His flesh was lacerated and he was about to disintegrate and die. "No!" The 9th child of chaos screamed miserably. There was panic in his heart. Was he going to die here today? Perish under heavenly punishment? His myths and legends had never appeared from the very beginning. Was it going to end today? Who would be willing? The 9th child of chaos roared in grief, "Save me, I don't want to die, save me." He roared out a large amount of the silver bloodline in his body. This bloodline was astonishing and surged with an immortal substance. This was definitely the bloodline of a child of taboo. 1. Within his body, the billowing silver blood burned and filled with indescribable divine might. It vaguely turned into a blurry figure. He seemed to have been resurrected and crossed over from the vast space and time. Boom! An indescribable aura flowed out. The mysterious figure that appeared in the bloodline crossed over and collapsed into countless space-time cracks. God knows where they extended from. The heroes trembled. This was the bloodline energy of the 9th child of chaos. It was full of supreme means to change the world. The space-time cracks that collapsed caused the universe's heavenly punishment to lose its perception. The bloodline energy even wrapped around the half-dead 9th child of chaos and wanted to carry him far away. Just as the 9th child of chaos was about to disappear, a figure instantly pierced through space-time. The power of reincarnation gushed out from his chest and forcibly collapsed this space-time. "Come out, you can't escape." Su Yen stomped down, directly stomping the 9th child of chaos to the ground and crushing his chest. Chapter 11-12. The world originally thought that the 9th son of chaos would escape. His awakened bloodline energy shocked the older generation. What level of bloodline was this? It could even change the path of heavenly punishment and disrupt heaven's secret. It was unbelievable. Blood spurted out from the 9th son's body as he let out a shrill scream. The silver flames burning all over his body dissipated completely. It was as if he had been beaten back to his original form. The onlookers were shocked. The 9th son of chaos had enjoyed peerless fortune in the world. Each of them had an extraordinary background and were ridiculously strong. Even the weakest 9th son was invincible. Some people felt that Su Yen had become stronger. Of course, they all saw the most important reason clearly. It was because of the interference of the universe's heavenly punishment that the ninth son of chaos was heavily injured. Otherwise, the current scene would not have appeared. Ah! Su Yen, get out of my way! The ninth son of chaos's face was sinister. He was being stepped on. How could he bear this kind of humiliation? It was like being stepped on by an ant. Su Yan's foot suddenly exerted force. The ninth son of chaos's blood-stained body trembled as his chest caved in. Thick silver blood spurted out and dyed the ground red. Su Yen, how dare you be arrogant after being defeated? As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yan's killing intent surged. His entire foot suppressed the ninth son of chaos. The strength he emitted made sure Jie's body show signs of collapsing. He let out an angry roar. If it wasn't for this damned universe's heavenly punishment, would you have won against me? Su Yan's eyes flashed with an ominous light. He looked down at the ninth son of chaos and said coldly, "You want to bully me? You're not qualified now. As long as I'm here, even if you're a dragon, you'd better lie down." Many geniuses looked at Su Yen, their hearts surging with shock. What kind of domineering will was this? Su Yan's aura swallowed heaven and earth, shocking all the powerhouses. They were all shocked. However, the cold killing intent in Su Yan's eyes caused the ninth son of primal chaos's face to turn ashen. He growled, "Su Yen, remember your words. In the future, I will personally take revenge, and let you know what reality is." Su Yen looked at him with a strange gaze and sneered. "Sure Jia, you're really arrogant. I don't know what kind of power the Chaos Valley is, but since you've provoked me, there's no good. I don't care if you're 9 dragons or 9 worms." The ninth son of primal chaos was infuriated by Su Yan's words. He couldn't wait to see all of the 9 sons of primal chaos take the stage and let Su Yen know what a foundation was, what an immortal inheritance was, and what a true giant was. "You have no right to know." The ninth son of chaos sneered. "Since you rejected me and even chose to be enemies with the Chaos Valley will find the next powerhouse of the burial realm to cooperate with. As for you, you've been abandoned." Su Yen rose in the bipolar star era. The danger he faced back then was incomparable to the danger he faced now. After all, Su Yen back then was too weak. "What do you want?" Boom. "No!" Su Yen directly raised his golden foot and stomped on the void. This foot was terrifying beyond compare. It was like a golden mountain pressing down, causing the ninth son of chaos to howl in despair. Then, his entire body exploded. The gods trembled. Su Yen had stomped the ninth son of chaos to death. The indestructible body was scared out of his wit. He was really scared. The sagely battle god's expression was uncertain. He had been enemies with Su Yen many times, and the heaven-suppressing battle god had been beheaded by Su Yen. Once Su Yen found the opportunity, would he be an exception? He would most likely be beaten to death by Su Yen. The sagely battle god's expression was gloomy. He really felt unlucky this year. Ever since he met Su Yen, nothing good had happened. One had to know that this vice dean was an 8th-grade alchemy grandmaster, a prominent figure in the alchemy world. Look, he's not dead yet. However, in the next moment, his shattered flesh shone brilliantly, surging with strands of terrifying matter. Undying light surged, forcefully wrapping around his shattered body and starting to recombine. Some people were speechless. They had seen a similar scene before. Now, the ninth son of chaos was also using immortal Tao matter to reconstruct his body. Even his severely injured body was recovering rapidly. It seemed to be even more powerful than the immortal Tao matter used by the Han family's master. 1. Because the immortal Tao matter of the ninth son of chaos and the immortal Tao matter in his body were of the same origin, which meant that they came from the same person. He thought back to when his prehistoric big brother divined about him. Afterward, His big brother taught him the 3 levels of the body-nurturing art. This shocking secret art. A cold light flashed in Su Yan's eyes. He had to capture the 9th son of chaos alive to get the answer he wanted. Powerful expert. Could it be that a powerful expert from the Chaos Valley has come? Could it be that a powerful expert has come? I know it's you. Get out here. Is this guy crazy? He wants a powerful expert to get out here? This was a powerful expert. What was Su Xianren doing? What kind of trump card did he have to compete with a powerful expert? A shrill voice reverberated between heaven and earth. It contained a bone-piercing cold energy that shook the entire place. Many cultivators felt their blood boil, and they couldn't stand steadily. Their bodies were about to explode. I really want to skin you alive. Chapter 11:13. A powerhouse spied on a distant world. A massive primordial spirit floated in the air. Divine soul energy spread out in all directions, covering the entire great region. This was definitely the primordial spirit of a supreme existence. Isn't that the fallen Han family's old ancestor? The Han family was destroyed a long time ago, and the supreme existence was killed by Xiaoho, but his primordial spirit is still alive. This scene caused the crowd to pale. This was the primordial spirit of the Han family's old ancestor. His body was destroyed, but his primordial spirit was still there. It was clear that the Han family's old ancestor had not died. He was still alive in his primordial spirit state. Now, the 9th son of chaos could die at any moment. The Han family's old ancestor could not absolve himself from the blame. He had no choice but to step forward and use his powerful divine soul energy to intimidate Su Yan. At this moment, Su Yan understood everything. All of this was caused by the Han family's old ancestor. A supreme existence's primordial spirit that was still alive had to be eliminated. Otherwise, the next disaster would be even more severe than this. Dragon Totem, Su Yan secretly said in his heart. He wanted to use the Dragon Totem to kill him. However, the Han family's old ancestor was clearly afraid of Su Yan. He didn't dare to get too close. This caused Su Yan's face to darken. After all, it was difficult for Su Yan to control the direction of the Dragon Totem's power. Once it erupted, it was unknown how many people would die. The consequences of doing this were too severe. The primordial Chaos Pagoda was a place where the geniuses of all races gathered. If the Dragon Totem harmed the innocent, Su Yan would have to bear great karma. Su Yan believed that the Dragon Totem would become stronger and stronger. The Dragon Totem that had swallowed the Han family's ancestral land's limitless source of life was bound to become even more tyrannical. Han family's old ancestor, I didn't think you would have a new master now. Su Yan shouted coldly, however, your intentions are far too vicious. You could have saved the 9th son of primal chaos just now. Why did you only step forward now? Are you trying to make the Valley of Primal Chaos hate me even more? The 9th son of chaos, who was using the immortal Tao material to reconstruct his body, felt a trace of anger in his heart. Although he knew that Su Yan was deliberately saying this, he was right. The Han family's old ancestor's arrival was too coincidental. You think too much. The Han family patriarch's expression darkened. After all, he was an old monster who had lived for countless years. He retorted, you think you're worthy of the Valley of Chaos hatred? You think too highly of yourself. You're not even an ant in front of the Valley of Chaos. Do you know who the 9th son of Chaos is? Even if your clan's supreme powerhouses came, they wouldn't dare to do anything to him. But you, you've gotten yourself into big trouble. You don't have to worry about me. Su Yan waved at him and said, since you're here, come over. Let me have a taste of how strong an almighty is. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone trembled. Su Yan was openly provoking an old ancestor. This made everyone shudder. Back in the day, Su Yan had almost killed the old ancestor of the Sealing Heaven realm. Su Yen must have a terrifying trump card. It was very likely that the taboo had left it for him. An existence that could threaten an old ancestor was feared by all the young geniuses gathered here. Even the Han family's old ancestor didn't dare to recklessly approach Su Yen. If he fell, the Han family would never have any hope of reviving their clan. Your master is being threatened and you don't dare to come. Old ancestor of the Han family, you're really regressing. Su Yen shook his head in disappointment. His gaze fell on the ninth son of chaos. He pressed forward step by step. This made the ninth son of chaos, who was reconstructing his body, tense up. He had reached the critical moment of reconstructing his body. If he failed, the consequences would be unimaginable. Boom. Suddenly, one after another, strange drum sounds appeared. The sound was very rhythmic, but when it reached the ears of the surrounding cultivators, it was like a heavenly drum. The sound was terrifying. The surrounding people were aghast. They saw Su Xianren use the spirit-assimilating drum. This was Chiu Ming's supreme treasure that specialized in targeting one's essence spirit. The ninth son of chaos, who was in the midst of reconstructing his body, almost went berserk when he heard the sound waves transmitted by the god-assimilating drum. He let out a shrill scream. Bam! His body trembled violently and he spat out thick silver blood. The reconstructed body collapsed like lightning. This caused the ninth son of chaos to let out a painful howl. His body was about to fall apart and turn into a pile of mud. Bastard Su Yen, I want you dead! The Han family's old ancestor couldn't sit still anymore. He rushed forward. No matter what, the ninth son of chaos couldn't die. Otherwise, he would be buried with him. Su Yen, you can't kill me. When I recover, I'll kill you. Shi Jie roared. The vertical eye between his brows opened. A purple cauldron floated inside, blocking the power of the spirit-assimilating drum. He tried his best to stabilize his body and threw out dozens of treasures in all directions to form a defensive combination. Kill. Su Yen stepped forward, his body rippling with terrifying fluctuations. The sky piercer in his hand turned into a snow-white halberd and slashed down. A huge crack appeared in the void, accompanied by the attack of a giant Kuan-Pung. Magic power overflowed into the sky. Bam! The dozens of treasures collapsed. They couldn't block the power of Su Yan's natal divine weapon at all. This snow-white halberd was heavy and powerful. It sank the void in front of it. The terrifying power struck the ninth son of chaos, causing blood to spurt out of his body. Large amounts of broken bones spurted out of his pores. He was in a terrible state. Su Yan's natal divine weapon is too powerful. It merged with the heaven-suppressing stone and Kuan-Pung stone. Su Yan is like a tiger that has grown wings. The ninth son of chaos most likely won't be able to survive. With such serious injuries, only divine medicines can help him extend his life. His immortal Tao substance is also gone. Although it is heaven-defying, its quantity is limited in the end. Only if the ninth son can escape will he have a chance to live. I don't think he can leave alive. The veteran divine king was scared. The ninth son of chaos had suffered serious injuries. How could he survive with such serious injuries? An elder from a peak clan sighed. This might be the most tragic of the young supreme beings who could dominate the world in the future. His future should have been glorious, but now he was about to die. Moreover, the methods he was so proud of didn't even erupt. Stop. The old ancestor of the Han family had already closed in. His primordial spirit was somewhat sinister and emitted a mournful killing intent. Moreover, he reached out a large primordial spirit hand to grab Su Yen. He wanted to stop his crazy actions and perhaps let the ninth son of chaos live. Boom! Su Yan's eyes widened. In an instant, 81 giant formation platforms appeared behind him. As they operated, the power of heaven and earth interweave. It was as if a corner of the universe had been triggered. The laws of heaven and earth overturned and blocked the primordial spirit of the Han family's old ancestor. This great killing formation, seeing this somewhat familiar formation platform, the Han family's old ancestor was so angry that he was trembling. This was the Han family's great mountain protection formation. It had been lost in the battle back then, but now Su Yan had repaired the damaged formation platform. Although its power wasn't at its peak, it was enough to block the primordial spirit of a powerful being. The Han family's old ancestor was blocked. When he saw Su Yan about to brandish the snowy halberd, the Han family's old ancestor despaired. Once the ninth son of Chaos was killed, he wouldn't be able to stay out of this alone. It was very likely that the Chaos Valley Master would vent his anger on him. Rip! The snowy halberd tore through the sky and was about to strike the ninth son of Chaos' head. Su Yan's expression changed slightly. A strand of vast energy suddenly appeared, shaking the entire vast region. The impact caused the millions of living beings to tremble. This energy was too vast and turbulent. It was boundless and boundless. A powerful being. Another powerful being has stepped forward. Millions of living beings were terrified. In an instant they felt that they were going to die. This was because this powerful being was different from the Han family's old ancestor. Just the shocking supernatural power that could suppress a large region was enough to make them tremble in fear. No one expected that there would be a powerful being hiding in the dark. Now that he had revived, the impact was huge. Su Yan was on full alert. After all, this person was different from the Han family's old ancestor. He could release the shocking power of a powerful being. If he was hit by a powerful being, he would die without a doubt. It was just that the mighty figure who had made a move had used his great magic power to intimidate the surroundings. Then, they all dissipated like a tide. Oh no! Su Yan's expression changed. He had been tricked. The other party wasn't targeting him. Instead, he was taking the opportunity to take the ninth son of Chaos away. Su Yan, let's go! Tai Baokai hurriedly shouted. A powerful being is watching in the dark. If he does something bad to us, it will be terrible. Although Su Yan had the dragon totem protecting him, it was only a one-time trump card. He couldn't use it unless it was a critical moment. Now that he was in the Chaos Pagoda, he would definitely be targeted by some powerful beings. What a pity! Su Yan felt a little regretful. He had almost killed the ninth son of Chaos. Su Yan felt that the powerful being who had attacked shouldn't be a powerful being from the Valley of Chaos. Otherwise, it wouldn't have ended so weakly. Perhaps someone wanted to form good karma with the Valley of Chaos, so he secretly rescued the ninth son. I don't think he will survive. Dili whispered, Big brother, his injuries are so serious. He was also hit by your natal divine weapon. I don't think the ninth son will be able to survive. Of course, unless he can get a divine herb now. Even if the Valley of Chaos is consuming it, it can't be that there are 8 or 10 divine herbs, right? It doesn't matter whether the ninth son is dead or not. I don't know who that powerful being was. It shouldn't be related to the Valley of Chaos. Otherwise, he would definitely attack me. Su Yan's eyes flashed coldly. He whispered, Let's leave this place first and find Tensor. He hasn't returned yet. I'm a little worried. Su Yan and the others also disappeared. As for the Han family's patriarch, he also disappeared without a trace when he saw the ninth son of Chaos being taken away. After all, he was in the essence soul state. He would face the threat of death at every turn. These people left, leaving behind a messy battlefield. After that, more and more people came over via WeChat. The storm caused by this incident was frightening enough. The ninth son of Chaos was almost killed by ruthless Su, and Su Yan had even forged an earth-shattering natal divine weapon. What did you say? Su Yan almost killed the ninth son of Chaos? An expert from a large sect rushed over. After hearing the news, he was stunned and almost fell to the ground. He felt cold from head to toe. Senior, why are you like this? The people nearby were startled because this was a half-step almighty. The Valley of Chaos is scarier than you think. They might have a taboo that looks down on the universe. This old sect master took a long time to recover. He muttered to himself, Su Xianren is most likely finished. Once the 5 sons of chaos attack, who can compete with them? But why would a transcendent force like the Valley of Chaos stoop so low to target a junior? Chapter 11:14. Su Yen and the others left the Primal Chaos Pagoda and headed in the direction East Demon had gone. Because the Primal Chaos Pagoda was about to open, the nearby regions were bustling with activity. With so many geniuses of the younger generation gathered here, it was the same as including all the geniuses of the universe. It was an unimaginable sight. When the Primal Chaos Pagoda opened, there would be trillions of living beings participating. This was an outrageous number, but it also represented the grandeur of the Primal Chaos Pagoda. Even trillions of living beings would be able to pass through. Some people speculated that the Primal Chaos Pagoda was a mysterious spatial treasure that held a supreme inheritance from prehistoric times. Although no one had been able to obtain the Primal Chaos Pagoda, there had always been a large number of geniuses that had obtained the inheritance within. In the future, their cultivation would soar, and it wouldn't be strange for them to step into the realm of supreme elders. In this place where all religions gathered, news of the 9th son of Primal Chaos defeat spread out, causing an uproar among all races. Chaos Valley, Su Xianren, East Demon, Song Tian, these were all legends among legends. It was hard for them not to attract attention. The world is so big. Where can we find Tensor? Su Yen and the others searched for half a day without finding anything. With the strength of their divine souls, they could launch a large-scale search, but they still couldn't find Tensor's whereabouts. There was also no trace of East Demon. Su Yen frowned. East Demon's departure must have something to do with Tensor. The 2 brothers are probably catching up. Baotsai's guess had a certain degree of credibility, but it couldn't be completely trusted. But no matter what, Tensor wouldn't be mistaken. If East Demon really was the young village chief of Zhang family village, he wouldn't have done anything to Tensor. But there were still no clues, causing Su Yen to feel uneasy. Let's keep looking. Hopefully, nothing too terrible happens. Su Yan's divine sense covered the land, hoping to find Tensor. These 2 brothers are truly terrifying. Who would have thought that the young village chief of a small village would be the universe's famous East Demon? Baokai was speechless. When you fought with East Demon just now, just how strong was he? Unfathomable. Su Yen was silent for a moment. Then, he said, I only fought with East Devil for a short period of time, so I didn't see through his strength. However, East Devil is already a Divine King expert. He didn't use the Divine King's strength when he fought with me. Divine King. Dali and Baokai were silent. Now, a group of top prodigies had stepped into the Divine King realm. Although their realms were very high, the Divine King realm wasn't something they could catch up to in a short few years. If someone among this group of people stepped into the realm of Almighty in the future, they would be able to suppress all the geniuses in the world. After all, no matter how strong a young supreme being was, as long as they were not almighty, they would not be qualified to be called a giant. Among the invincible young experts, when he met a mighty figure, he could only respectfully address them as senior. Dali was curious. Why did East Devil and Su Yen fight? Su Yen smiled bitterly at this. He really hoped that things wouldn't be so bad. They had searched here for several days and crossed several large regions, but they still hadn't found any clues. However, in the nearby regions, Su Yen heard some heated rumors. He frowned. Everything was related to the Valley of Chaos. Just how strong is the Valley of Chaos? How can its influence be so great? Baokai was astonished. He had been asking around in the city and heard many things. His expression was uncertain. I don't know if the 9 Scions of Chaos are still alive. He had brought back some bad news. He bared his teeth and said, "But of the 9 scions of chaos, 4 have already cultivated to the level of Almighty. The other 5 should be experts of the younger generation." Luodali was shocked. This power has been passed down for countless years. The Valley of Chaos is a life-forbidden zone. There are only 9 inheritors, and the other 5 have been sealed since ancient times. Just how strong are their foundations? Although Su Yen had defeated the 9th scion of Chaos, no one knew what would have happened if it weren't for the universe's heavenly punishment. Damn, cut the weeds and dig up the root. The Han family is related to the Valley of Chaos and has brought us a disaster. We must be careful in the future. Bao Cai's expression was dark. Although Su Yan's combat strength was powerful, it was impossible to beat 2 people. However, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Even Su Yan and the others needed time to grow. Besides, the 5 scions of chaos weren't just for show. The 9th scion was the weakest. It was hard to imagine how strong the other 4 young experts were. Most importantly, the other 4 were probably at the Divine King realm. Su Yan's heart was heavy. He felt a terrifying pressure coming from the future of the universe. The Hall of Earth, I hope you can perfect my constitution and help me perfect my path to invincibility. Su Yan took a deep breath. He really felt the horror of the future flourishing age. If the old leader hadn't asked him to explore the Hall of Earth, he wouldn't have been able to do so. Now, if Su Yan wanted to forge a path to invincibility, he would have to wait for the immortal graveyard to open. Then, everything would be too late. Time waits for no man. All of a sudden, Su Yan realized that the Hell Hall had become the only training ground he could use to resist the future calamities. He needed to undergo the cruelest training in history. Even if the universe's environment changed in the future, no matter what it became, Su Yan had to deal with it by remaining unchanged. "I think we should go back," Bao Cai suggested. "Let's go to the Great Tao City and wait for the Chaos Pagoda to open. Maybe the 2 brothers will make up and come back together." "I hope so." Su Yan also knew that they wouldn't get any answers if they continued to search. They began to return. The Great Tao City was probably surging with undercurrents and wouldn't be peaceful. However, Su Yan still wanted to see what else the Valley of Chaos could do. Boom! Suddenly, they were crossing the border when a violent energy fluctuation shook the vast mountains and rivers in the distance. "There's a great battle in the distance." Bao Cai and the others were alarmed, but they couldn't be bothered to go over and take a look. However, Su Yan's glabella was translucent and filled with Buddhist light. Su Yan's primordial spirit was blazing like a great Buddha sitting cross-legged in his sea of consciousness. He was chanting the Sutra of the future and emitting a wave of mighty power. Buddhist experts. Su Yan was moved. Since his debut, he had never encountered a Buddhist expert. However, he sensed the mysterious aura of a Buddhist expert here. Buddhists had always been mysterious. Legend had it that the environment of Buddhism was different from the outside world. It was equivalent to a Buddhist nation. Buddhist cultivators rarely walked around the outside world. In the eyes of the world, Buddhism was equivalent to a pure land isolated from the world. However, Su Yan had caught the aura of a Buddhist expert here and even triggered the Sutra of the Future. To be able to cause the Sutra of the Future to tremble, Su Yan was truly alarmed. In the past, in the sealed land of the heavenly mountain of the Big Dipper, there was a talisman refined from the Sutra of the Future that suppressed a mysterious demon phantom. No matter what, Su Yan felt that Buddhism might have a certain relationship with the races of the burial region. "Let's go over and take a look." Su Yan rapidly flew over. He could see from afar that in the distant world there was a boundless Buddhist sea. In the starry skies, there was a faint outline of a giant golden Buddha that supported the heavens. It suppressed the sun, moon, rivers, and mountains, filled with the divine might of Buddhism. "This great Buddha is so strong." Dali was alarmed. Even though he was so far away, he could feel the boundless might of the Buddhist sea. It suppressed the world until it dimmed, turning it into a Buddhist nation that would deliver all living beings from torment. This great Buddha sat cross-legged in the starry skies of the universe. It emitted a resplendent beam of light that radiated far away. This scene caused Su Yan's expression to change greatly. He even wondered if he had encountered the Western Buddha of the Buddhist sect. Buddhist powerhouse, hurry and take a look. In the surrounding territories, many cultivators passing by were incomparably shocked. Buddhist powerhouses were far too rare. They all went to investigate, wanting to see just who was fighting with these Buddhist powerhouses. The origin of Buddhism was the Buddhist realm, a world that rarely appeared in the world. Of course, Buddhism had also flourished for many generations. This Pure Land was similar to a Tao temple. It didn't involve itself in the affairs of the mortal world, and there were also very few races that dared to target it. As powerhouses swarmed over from all directions, Su Yan and the others had already arrived at their destination. In this world that was riddled with holes, the great Buddha still occupied the starry skies. It was as resplendent as the sun, but it soon began to blur. Without a doubt, this was a supernatural ability struck down by a Buddhist powerhouse. It didn't dissipate for a long time. Bang! Su Yan fiercely reached out his palm and grabbed at the great Buddha sitting in the starry skies. The great Buddha that was about to disappear was instantly struck by Su Yan's palm. This strike was full of strength, and it seemed as if it would collapse the great Buddha. Buzz! The great Buddha that was about to disappear suddenly became resplendent. It was stimulated by Su Yan's palm and began to awaken on its own. The blurry great Buddha stole the essence of the universe from the 8 Desolaces and included it in the blurry Buddha body. It stabilized itself and resisted Su Yan's hand. Incredible! Bao Cai's eyes widened. He said in surprise, "A supernatural ability left behind that can communicate with one's own spirit. What a strong Buddhist nature. Could it really be Western Buddha? Brat, you want to compete with Western Buddha?" Ba! A majestic voice resounded in the ears of all living beings. It was immeasurable and emitted boundless energy that illuminated the 8 Desolaces and 10 lands. It was resplendent and overflowing. This Buddha revived and reached out with a golden Buddha hand. It was as if it had crossed over from the outer realms. It was as if it had encompassed the heaven and earth. It sank down and grabbed at Su Yan. It seemed slow, but in fact, the energy fluctuation that was spreading out caused the boundless earth to collapse. Roar! Su Yan faced the sky and let out a long roar. His entire body was rippling with terrifying divine energy. He threw out a punch and collided with the huge hand that was reaching down. Rumble! At this moment, the heaven and earth exploded. The entire world trembled violently. Dust billowed and endless leaves flew madly. The experts who came to watch the battle lost their self-control. They saw a war god with terrifying aura attacking the great Buddha with lightning speed. Kill! Su Yan roared and raised his fist to strike again. 3 consecutive punches opened up Su Yan's extraordinary battle strength. The huge Buddha hand collapsed and even the great Buddha that was sitting in the starry skies was blasted open by Su Yan's punch. This brat is so abnormal. He destroyed it with 3 punches. Isn't he afraid that Western Buddha will find trouble with him? Bao Cai's face darkened. I feel that Western Buddha is too strong. Big Brother actually had to erupt with 3 punches to destroy one divine ability. Dali said with a solemn face, "One must know that this is a divine ability. Although Western Buddha is the divine king, the divine ability he left behind is too abnormal." However, what made them flabbergasted was that a blood-stained figure fell down from the collapsed great Buddha. He cursed and snarled, "Damn bald donkey, you want to release me from purgatory?" Chapter 11:15. Tensor. Bao Cai cried out in shock. How could this guy be in West Buddha's divine ability? Although he couldn't determine whether the person who left behind the divine ability was West Buddha or not, Just from the tyrannical degree of the divine ability, it would be difficult to find a second Buddhist sex young supreme in the chaos ruins. Su Yen could see the abnormality in the blurry Buddha because of the Sutra of Future. If he didn't act in time, he reckoned that Tensor would have been taken away by West Buddha's divine ability. Tensor's body was stained with blood. Su Yen looked at him and found that it wasn't a big problem. They were all superficial wounds. What happened? Didn't you go to find East Devil? How did you meet West Buddha? How did this guy convert you? Su Yen walked up and asked with a frown. I was wondering why he was so strong. But in the younger generation of Buddhism, other than West Buddha, I'm afraid no one is this strong. Zhang Liang spat out a mouthful of blood. But when he was asked to explain what had happened, Zhang Liang felt a bit sad. East Demon was undoubtedly his elder brother. Even if he had mistaken someone else for him, it was impossible for him to mistake the young village chief of the Zhang family village. He chased East Devil all the way here. In the end, East Devil acted as if he didn't know him and even beat him up. This made Su Yen and the others speechless. What was going on? Is he really your elder brother? Bao Kai asked with a face full of suspicion. How can he beat you up when brothers meet? Could it be that East Devil has another identity? Maybe you recognized the wrong person. That's impossible. He is my elder brother. I won't recognize him wrongly. I also didn't expect my elder brother to be the famous East Devil. Zhang Liang's head was like a rattledrum, and his expression was sad. No one knew why he was like this. Su Yen patted Tensor's shoulder and said, East Devil probably encountered something. Maybe he provoked some enemies and didn't want you to be implicated. That's why he didn't recognize you. Tensor felt that this idea was correct. Bao Kai, who was beside him, also comforted him. Who is East Demon? He's killed countless people and has many enemies. He's in a lot of trouble, and that's probably the reason why he doesn't return to the village. I'm guessing that your elder brother will take the initiative to look for you after you've cultivated the Divine King. It should be. Otherwise, my big brother has no reason to not recognize me. Tensor nodded, but in his heart, he still found it hard to accept. When Su Yen asked about West Buddha, Tensor said with a dark face, Don't mention it. This bald donkey just came here and started fighting with my big brother. I wanted to help my big brother, but in the end, West Buddha suppressed him. Tensor felt a sense of defeat. However, West Buddha's cultivation was too high. It was very likely that he was an absolute king. This made Su Yen apprehensive. West Buddha was actually an absolute king. No wonder Tensor was suppressed by West Buddha. However, West Buddha wanted to convert Tensor. This made Su Yen frown. Buddhism stood aloof from worldly affairs. This West Buddha's methods were really astonishing. He wanted to convert Tensor as soon as he made his move. Unfortunately, they've gone far away. Otherwise, I would definitely go and take a look. Whether it was East Demon or West Buddha, Su Yen had heard of their great names since he was young. They were really like thunder piercing his ears. He didn't know where these two legendary figures had gone to. He also didn't know who was stronger between the two. In an extremely distant time-space, the two great experts were indeed locked in a fierce battle. One of them was a senior monk who had attained the Tao. Buddhist aura surged like the deep sea, boundless and immeasurable. Behind him, a great Buddha appeared in the sky. It was as if he wanted to establish a supreme kingdom and deliver the universe to all living things. It was very hard to imagine that this was a young monk. He wore a kasaya and his head was shiny. The top of his head was surging with boundless Buddhist aura. He was filled with the aura of a great divine ability. He could easily crush the darkness with his Buddhist aura. Boom! And opposite him, demonic aura surged. East Demon was tall and majestic. His long black hair draped over his shoulders. He was like a monarch standing tall in the darkness. He emitted a kind of wild aura and looked down on everything. The two's auras were completely opposite. One was overflowing with demonic aura, while the other was full of Buddhist aura. Benefactor, you've fallen deeply into the demonic path. Follow me back to the Buddhist domain. Only then can you purify the demonic aura in your body and see your true self. West Buddha's appearance was solemn and dignified. His entire body emitted a vast Buddhist aura. His hands were joined together. His entire body was flourishing with Buddhist aura, illuminating the starry sky with resplendent light. Faintly, countless great Buddhas were sitting cross-legged in the void, surrounding and protecting him. Bald donkey, what nonsense are you spouting? East Demon's aura was extremely tyrannical. He glared at West Buddha and shouted, I think you're the one who has fallen deeply into the demonic path. You and I have fought for hundreds of years. What can you do to me? The sea of bitterness is boundless. Turn back and the shore is at hand. West Buddha's voice became louder and louder. It was filled with a kind of majesty. His pair of eyes turned golden as he shouted, Benefactor, if you don't turn back and get lost on this path, even if the Buddha makes a move, he won't be able to help you. The Buddha is nothing. In the future, when I become the strongest, he will follow behind me. East Demon spoke coldly. A terrifying silhouette appeared behind him. Like a reincarnated demon lord, he opened his cold eyes and looked down on everyone. Benefactor, you speak such arrogant words. I have no choice but to learn from you. West Buddha joined his hands together. In an instant, his entire body rippled out. Boundless Buddhist aura faintly transformed into a terrifying silhouette that filled up the starry sky and suppressed East Demon. East Demon was ready for battle. He and West Buddha had fought for hundreds of years, and it was hard to determine the victor. The people in the outside world didn't know that in this uninhabited region of the universe, a great battle at the pinnacle of creation had unfolded. One side was like an abyss of darkness, the other side was like a boundless sea of Buddha. Both sides were locked in battle. To Su Yen, he really wanted to know who was stronger between East Demon and West Buddha. Just now, when he exchanged blows with West Buddha's divine ability, he felt West Buddha's strength. It was also unfathomable. It was hard to tell what level he had cultivated to. If the universe's environment returns to prehistoric times, even if the immortal graveyard opens, I reckon East Demon and West Buddha won't be weak. Su Yen thought in his heart. At his level of cultivation, even if he exchanged blows with West Buddha's divine ability, he could roughly guess West Buddha's strength. It was just that he didn't know if West Buddha would be an enemy in the future. Many people have come. Let's go first. Su Yen and the others disappeared from this messy place. Not long after, many experts rushed over. Someone directly said in a low voice, I reckon the person who exchanged blows with the Buddhist experts just now was Su Xianren. Even from far away, I could already feel the world-shaking blood essence fluctuation in his body. Su Xianren. The people who came were shocked. These few days, the matter of the primal Chaos Valley had spread like wildfire. They knew that Su Xianren, who had disappeared for more than a year, had once again made a strong return. He had even exchanged blows with East Demon. They were curious about who Su Yen had exchanged blows with. Could it be West Buddha? Someone said something shocking. You must know that West Buddha is also in the primal chaos ruins. However, he hasn't shown himself for a long time. But this time, when the primal chaos pagoda opens, West Buddha will definitely come here. Su Xianren is really amazing. He even exchanged blows with East Demon and West Buddha. The people who came were all speechless as they discussed spiritedly. After all, this was the moment when the primal chaos pagoda was about to open. This large region was filled with experts from various races, and their backgrounds were not small. In the short span of a few decades, Su Yen has looked down on the heroes of the world. He was able to contend with the previous generation's king. I'm actually looking forward to the moment when Su Xianren enters the Divine King's realm. Someone said such words, causing the people gathered here to be endlessly shocked. Once Su Yan became the divine king, he would probably contend for hegemony with Qiu Ming and the others. Would this legend be glorious? The divine king's realm is destined to be not fated with Su Yan. Ruthless? Ignorant people, your evaluation of him is a bit too high. All of a sudden, deep words transmitted from a distant world reached here, causing many experts to be furious. Ignorant people? The person who spoke directly ridiculed them, calling them ignorant. Who is so bold? Someone couldn't take it anymore and said, Su Yan's strength is obvious to all. Just a while ago, the ninth son of the primal Chaos Valley, Shi Jie, was defeated by Su Xianren. Now, it's unknown whether he's dead or alive. Hong. As soon as these words were spoken, a tsunami-like rumbling sound was immediately drawn over. Boundless divine might rushed over from a distant world, causing the world to tremble and the boundless territory to sway unceasingly. The person who retorted angrily trembled from head to toe. His mouth and nose were bleeding from the energy waves that swept over from afar. More than half of his life source collapsed, and he directly fell to the ground, finding it difficult to crawl back up. The people in the surroundings were frightened. Who was this person who came? Just his aura alone almost shocked a peak deity to death. Take back what you said just now, and I can spare your life. A cold voice rang out. Numerous terrifying figures appeared in the original space. They were like three primordial fiend gods that came from the primordial era. They were filled with the pressure of time, causing the hearts of the experts gathered here to tremble. This was because they were too extraordinary. It was as if they had awakened from the primal chaos, exuding an oppressive feeling that originated from the long river of time. Could these be the three ancient people who had been sealed until now? The expert who was severely injured stuttered. Before he could say anything, he had already disappeared without a trace. An old divine king here was speechless. He could vaguely perceive a kind of terrifying divine soul energy that evaporated the soul of the heavily injured expert. Just where did these three young people come from? How could their cultivation be so powerful? One of them smiled and whispered to the old divine king, "From now on, Su Yan will no longer exist in this world." For a moment, their aura was exceptionally terrifying. It was as if primal chaos demons were soaring through the sky, suppressing the entire world. Moreover, there was a kind of unique charm that could crush the Golden Age, destroy all myths and legends, exuding majestically. The people gathered here lost their composure. Their tone was too arrogant, and they were also very strong. At the same time, they disappeared without a trace. Afterward, many people came to inquire about their origins. However, just 3 days later, a storm raged in the city of the Great Tao. 3 terrifying figures arrived in the city of the Great Tao, causing the Tao Palace to be on guard. The old antiques overseeing the Tao Palace personally came to welcome them. In the city, tens of thousands of geniuses were suppressed until they were dim. This was because they were too strong. They were like primal demons that had returned from ancient times, exuding rich fluctuations of time. There was a kind of pressure that originated from ancient times, causing them to be terrified. They all felt a sense of unbearable disparity. Ninth brother is injured, but he has damaged the dignity of the Valley of Chaos. We cannot bring him back to the valley to recuperate. Su Yan, right? We can give him 10 days to come here and accept his punishment. If he doesn't come in 10 days, everyone related to him can forget about coming into the world. Their words were cold and emotionless, exuding a domineering aura of supremacy in the world. They stood in the city of the Great Tao and spoke in a high-profile manner. Chapter 11:16. The entire Great Tao city was in an uproar. There was no doubt that the people from the Valley of Chaos had arrived. The ninth son of Chaos had suffered a crushing defeat, forcing out the 3 sons of Chaos from the Valley of Chaos. 4 generations, the life-forbidden zone reigned supreme in the world. Its foundation was unfathomable. Although the sealed heaven domain had declined because of the prehistoric Big Brother, the Valley of Chaos was different. This orthodoxy was mysterious and unpredictable. It controlled supreme resources and had produced supreme powerhouses for generations. During this period, there was a vague rumor. It was difficult to find the source, but the news was frightening. It was said that the 9 sons of chaos were the descendants of the taboo bloodline. This was terrifying. Then the 9th son of chaos should be the one with the weakest bloodline, and the first son of chaos should be the strongest. The world didn't know whether the first son of chaos had come out or not, but the 3 sons of chaos who occupied the great Tao city today were already terrifying enough. How strong are the descendants of the taboo? Someone said in a trembling voice, asking Su Xianren to come here and accept his punishment? They even spread the word that those related to him shouldn't come out. Are they trying to annihilate Su Xianren's bloodline? During the battle in the reincarnation universe, Su Yan's 4 invincible combinations were the peak Ingjia of the younger generation. They were very impressive. Can't they fight the 3 sons of chaos? No, it's hard to say now. Su Xianren also has invincible combat power, but the universe's environment is changing. The immortal graveyard will open in the future. This means that their era is coming. Will the Golden Age really reach the point where the lives of geniuses are as cheap as paper? Many people didn't dare to imagine the future. If this day really came, Su Yan's invincible combination would most likely be defeated. Even the geniuses of the world would be overshadowed. Can we not keep up with the progress of the times? Even someone as strong as Su Yan will be overshadowed by the Golden Age in the future? A new era. Is the world of these sons of taboo? The Iron Blood King sighed as he gazed at the 3 sons of chaos that occupied the great Tao city. They were peerlessly powerful, and all of them were supreme figures in the divine king realm. They were like 3 great chaos fiend gods that had come from the primordial times. Their entire bodies were suffused with dense ripples of time, and they were accompanied by a vast pressure of space and time. Without a doubt, these 3 were extremely strong. Even godly monarchs of the older generation found it difficult to breathe in front of them. It was as if they were facing 3 kings that reigned above the 9 heavens. Just their world-shaking might alone was enough to shock the world. The 3 kings soared into the sky and occupied the city of the great Tao, suppressing the millions of geniuses until they were dim in comparison. Arrogant, too arrogant. In a certain official residence in Great Tao City, Luo Tiandu's face was ashen. If it wasn't for the old man in the residence suppressing him and telling him to behave himself, Luo Tiandu most likely wouldn't have been able to control himself and would have charged out to fight with his 3rd son. Damn it, even the 9th son of chaos was defeated by De Yong. What is the 3rd son being arrogant for? Luo Huaqing also spoke fiercely. Previously, the 3 sons of chaos had said that everyone related to Su Yan shouldn't appear in the world anymore. This probably included Luo Tiandu. During the battle in the reincarnation universe, Luo Tiandu had interfered to stop Emperor Nan. This matter had been widely spread. In the residence, a group of old divine kings smiled bitterly. They had the right to be arrogant. They were all powerhouses in the divine king realm. However, in the entire Daluo dynasty, only Emperor Nan had broken through the shackles of the divine king. Luo Tiandu hadn't cultivated to this level yet. Looking at a large sect, it was already very impressive for a young divine king to emerge in a short few hundred years. However, the Chaos Valley overlooked the world. After so many years, the 9 sons of chaos had been in a deep slumber, enjoying endless nourishment. They were like creatures nurtured by the heavens. Naturally, they were ridiculously powerful. Who's outside the door? Luo Yuanjing's eyes darkened. He could clearly sense that there was a terrifying fluctuation of essence blood outside the door. The huge residence fell silent for a moment. Luo Tiandu and the others frowned. This was the residence of the Daluo dynasty, and it was heavily guarded. Who would dare to trespass here without an invitation? I'm sorry to disturb you. Old prince, we haven't seen each other for many years. You're still vigorous despite your age. A faint voice came in. Luo Yuanjing was stunned at first, but then he laughed loudly. It's an honor to have such esteemed guests. Little brother, please come in. He swung his sleeves and opened the door of the residence. Su Yan and the others stepped into the residence, attracting a lot of attention. When they saw the appearance of this person, the expressions of the powerhouses in the residence changed. They didn't expect Su Xianren, whose name shook the world, to come. He even fought with East Demon a few days ago and defeated the 9th son of Chaos. He's Su Yan. In the residence, at least 6 divine kings stood out. Essence blood surged in their bodies, and they were shockingly powerful. Bathed in imperial dragon aura, they were full of majesty. But these 6 divine kings vaguely appeared weak in front of Su Yan, who walked in from outside. Su Yan's aura wasn't that strong, but his cultivation was unfathomable. It was as if he had become one with the universe. Little brother, your cultivation is so profound. You're about to step into the divine king realm? Luo Yuanjing was shocked. Su Yan had only stepped into the celestial god realm for a few years, but his cultivation was unfathomable. Su Yan once comprehended the Tao in the universe's mystic realm. Although he was forced to stop, his cultivation was profound. However, his cultivation was very profound. Even a god king could not see through him, let alone the terrifying blood essence that was faintly flowing in his body, emitting an astonishing pressure. The divine king still has a long way to go, Su Yan said calmly. If there's no opportunity, it'll be extremely difficult to break through within 10 years. The group of divine kings in the residence were slightly moved. Luo Tiandu even walked over and laughed. What's wrong? With Brother Su's potential, you're too close to the divine king realm. I think you've obtained a prehistoric orthodoxy. Su Yan was a little surprised. He was about to reply when his gaze landed on a young lady in a blue dress in front of him. He had not seen Luo Huaqing for many years, and she had become more beautiful. She had lost some of her arrogance and had gained some calmness and nobility. Seeing Luo Huaqing looking at him with resentment, Su Yan smiled helplessly. Little princess, I haven't seen you in so many years. You've become even more beautiful and holy. Luo Huaqing's personality was lively. She immediately beamed with joy. She was still so mischievous with snow-white skin, emitting a youthful aura. She said, De Yong, I thought you've forgotten about me after becoming a great expert. Luo Tiandu's expression was strange. He glanced at Luo Huaqing. It had been a long time since he saw Luo Huaqing so happy. Then, Luo Tiandu looked at Su Yan with vigilance. He was afraid this brat would seduce his sister. How could I forget the favor of saving my life back then, little princess? Su Yan smiled. After so many years, little princess is already a heavenly deity expert. Of course, it's all because of me. Brother Su, you must have something important to tell me. Luo Tiandu quickly interjected. This made Luo Huaqing bare her fangs and brandish her claws. She was very angry and glared at Luo Tiandu. Brother Luo from the reincarnation universe helped me last time. I haven't had the time to thank you. Su Yan replied. Brother Su, you're too polite. I didn't expect that after so many years, Brother Su has already become a young overlord. Luo Tiandu sighed with emotion. The Divine King is also close at hand. Why did Brother Su say that it would be difficult to break through in 10 years? Did you obtain a prehistoric inheritance? Su Yan was also quite interested. Could the Daluo dynasty also have a prehistoric inheritance? Although the children of Taboo have the right time, place, and people, some groups have also excavated a lot of prehistoric inheritances in the Chaos ruins. It's just that I don't know how big the gap is in the end. Luo Tiandu was a little worried. He directly admitted that they did have some prehistoric inheritances. Su Yen was a little relieved because he was not worried about the children of Taboo. It was the future devil fog calamity. That was the most terrifying thing. Who could be lucky enough to escape? Su Yen, what's your evaluation of your fight with the ninth son of chaos? Luo Yuanjing asked. This was something they were all eager to know. Hearing this, Su Yen was silent for a while. He then said, if the ninth son of chaos didn't rely on the prehistoric environment, there would be a gap between him and East Demon and West Buddha. But is the ninth son of chaos the weakest? I really don't know much about the Chaos Valley. He's indeed the weakest. Among the 9 sons of chaos, the eldest is the strongest, and the ninth is the weakest. Luo Yuanjing nodded solemnly. It seems that Su Yen knows a lot about the universe's environment. You're right. Once this day comes, the universe will be in chaos. It's related to all the orthodoxies of the groups. Brother Su, you shouldn't be concerned about the 9 sons of chaos now. Luo Tiandu suddenly said, Qiuming is probably about to break through to the Supreme Realm. He's about to break through to the Supreme Realm? Is the news reliable? Su Yan's face darkened. If Qiuming stepped into the Supreme Realm, it would be terrifying. It's very reliable, Luo Yuanjing replied. Qiuming hasn't appeared in the world for a year or 2. My race has found out that the last time Qiuming appeared, his aura was uncontrollable and he was about to break through. But Qiuming has stabilized. If he wants to break through, he'll definitely choose to do it in the immortal graveyard and not here. Su Yen took a deep breath. He didn't expect to receive such an important piece of information. Once Qiuming stepped into the Supreme Realm in the immortal graveyard, all the geniuses in the world would feel despair. What kind of place was the immortal graveyard? It was the most powerful place of fortune in history. When the time came, wouldn't Qiuming obtain all the rare treasures in the world? Of course, there's a buffer period. He can't break through as soon as he arrives at the immortal graveyard. He'll definitely familiarize himself with the environment and cultivate for a few years before choosing to break through. Luo Yuanjing added. Su Yen talked with them until night fell. The Great Net Dynasty knew a lot about the world. These old kings didn't hide anything and told him as much as they could. In the end, Su Yen asked about the origin of the immortal Tao substance. Luo Yuanjing smiled and said, everyone knows that immortal Tao substance can extend one's lifespan and even live another life. Moreover, it can help a supreme expert break through. These rumors are true. Immortal Tao substance is the taboo life essence blood, Luo Tiandu said. Su Yen was shocked and a little stunned. The taboo life essence blood was an immortal Tao substance. The taboo life essence blood contains an immortal substance that can extend one's lifespan and even use the blood to cleanse the body and comprehend the supreme Tao fruit. Luo Yuanjing continued, but it's not recommended to use it directly, because it will affect your path. Of course, Luo Yuanjing was talking about people like Su Yen. If one's talent was a little weaker, they could directly use the immortal Tao substance to improve their aptitude. They could use it to cultivate the taboo grade Tao, and they would also have great achievements in the future. Su Yen, come and accept your punishment. In the middle of the night, Great Tao City was completely slaughtered. It was as if an ancient immortal devil had revived. He said coldly and angrily, do you really think I'll give you 10 days? My patience is limited. The tyranny of the chaotic valley made many people curse in secret. They were too arrogant. They dared to speak in the great Tao City in the middle of the night. How could they not let people cultivate? Is the old fart in charge of the Tao Palace asleep? Why didn't he step out and do something? Do they treat the great Tao City as their own territory? Luo Yuanjing's temper was unbearable. However, when he mentioned the old fart of the Tao Palace, Su Yan's heart was filled with coldness. He wondered if it was the old fart of the Tao Palace who saved the 9th son of chaos. Su Yen felt that the possibility was very high. Now, the old fart of the Tao Palace was just sitting there and doing nothing. After all, there was a certain hatred between the two. The heaven-suppressing battle god was killed by Su Yen. Since you think I'm a pushover, I'll go and kill the ninth son of chaos. Su Yen took out his life essence divine weapon, which turned into a black sword embryo. A koan pung lay in the middle. Brother Su, don't be rash. Luo Tiandu hurriedly stopped him. It's okay. Su Yen said coldly. This is the great Tao City, the place where the dragon veins gather. I'll make them suffer. Many old kings were shocked. They originally thought that Su Yen would lay low. Who knew that he was going to kill the ninth son of chaos? This was the great Tao City where violence was prohibited. However, Su Yen was still prepared to make a move. The dark calamity was coming. If they couldn't even deal with the three sons of chaos, how could they survive in the future? Su Yen knew very well that it was the burial region who fought against the demonic fog a long time ago. Once the calamity came, the first to settle the score would definitely be their clan. Su Yen carried the dark killing sword and walked out of the official residence.